Hi, I'm Sophie, and I haven't seen a lot of movies.
Hi, I'm Paul, and I'm here to help with that. And we are
SP Filmviewers. So, first of all, I want to say Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, come on, I'm so much more chipper on that one. Try again, Paul.
Merry Christmas! And happy 100 episodes.
I was going to say, we're not doing New Year yet. Yeah, happy 100th episodes. I don't know how the hell you put up with me for that long.
To be honest, I don't know either how
So
we've
rude.
carried on this long for doing it, but I'm glad we've kind of gotten to this milestone.
Yep, so does that mean we're putting this coat on and sacking it off now? We've achieved that. Job done. Or I actually think we're going to continue into 2022?
I think so, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you can tolerate me a little bit
more.
longer.
Yeah.
Okay. Probably when we get married, then he'll be like,
Yeah.
can't
Had
cope.
enough.
Yeah.
Had enough of this, yeah.
So, obviously this is going to be a really special 100th.
Bumper episode, yeah.
Yeah, so you're going to enjoy it, it's going to be fun, it's going to be Christmassy, and it's going to be amazing, really, hopefully. We've got as alcohol, so cheers.
Cheers.
Happy Christmas.
What are you drinking? Just so the people know.
I have got a cider from Aldi because I am a cheapskate.
It's nice cider. It's like a, what was it, peach?
Peach and honey dew.
Melon even. Yeah.
And what are you on?
I am on the Sailor, Jerry and Coke.
So also, I feel like I'm in charge today. I'm well loving this. This is how 2022 is going to be. I'm going to take the reins.
Okay. News to me.
Yeah. It's just, when I was on with Fiona, we discussed all this.
Okay,
and
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Right.
It's bad influence.
Behind my back. Yeah.
So, also, another thing we've been doing up to the run-up to Christmas, up to the lead, and it will still be continuing until the end of this year.
Yep.
Is...
We are hoping to reach 10,000 downloads by the end of the year.
Which shouldn't be an unrealistic goal. However, at the moment, we really need a push through to get us where we need to be.
Mm-hmm.
We're still not where we would have anticipated at this point. So, over the holiday season and Christmas period, you know, when you kind of have that lull, you've had your tea, and you're like, oh, what do we watch? Do we watch Strictly or Doctor Who? Maybe you might think, actually, we'll just want to put on SP Filmviewers and just have a listen instead, you know.
You know, when you're having your Christmas dinner, just have it on in the background.
For the music, yeah. Definitely do that, because then that will bump us up. 100%.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
because it's all going for a good cause.
Yeah, ultimately, that is the goal that we're trying to do. We're trying to, as you know, we've already donated some money towards the Alzheimer's Society, but we're going to be extra generous if we reach our goal. Yeah. Getting to that figure would really mean a great deal to us.
It would, and I think it's a really good incentive for both. So it's obviously means a hell of a lot to us if we reach that goal, and also it's giving to a charity that's near and dear. So it's kind of like, if we didn't reach that, I'd feel a little bit bad towards the charity as well. I'd be like, I really want to give that. Mm-hmm. But then we've said, and then it's like, well, how does that work? Because that bargain hasn't
been met, yeah.
Yeah. So please, I'm begging now, listen to us. And on that note, we'll go on to fun things now that I've done my sad.
Yeah. Obviously, I would feel like I just feel like starting from a bad note, like, oh, it's pressuring people to listen to a thing, but obviously it does mean a great deal to us that you do enjoy our content and stuff, and then just share around with everybody that really is just the what we're trying to accomplish. Exactly,
and to everybody who does listen to us, we are so grateful for
don't get me wrong,
listening and to us witter on for 100 episodes.
I don't know how gone this long and people still seem to enjoy our content. So I'm very grateful, obviously.
100%.
So thank you very much to all you listeners.
I think as well now it's become part of our life. Like
Yeah. Like a routine, yeah.
Yeah, I actually, when we've had a break from it, and it's not been often that we've done that, it's only been like leading up to the 100th.
Yeah, every other week, yeah, kind of thing, just for as things have gone, yeah.
But I've missed it.
No,
I feel
same,
like this is the longest I get to talk to you, and it's like a dedicated slot where I get to talk to you about films.
Mm-hmm. Which I love doing, so.
It's good. As long as we're happy, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And thank you for everyone who's listening, supporting us, giving us so much love. We've met so many lovely people this year as well, which I always get a bit scared of either having people on as a guest.
Well, I know I get stressed about
you do.
all this whole setup and everything, but then obviously you get flow in the conversation and everything's fine.
And you make so many new friends by doing it, and it's amazing because these people are literally the same as us. They want to do the same thing, and you've just got this common interest from the get-go, and it's just so easier to talk to them.
Definitely, yeah.
So, can't thank you enough, Paul, for putting us out there, really.
Yeah, you're welcome. And, I'm hoping to do, obviously, some more stuff in the future, more networking and things like that, and big-ish plans with how we're going to mix things up in the future.
I can't wait. I told you, he's going to give me the reins. I'm going to be like the new CEO or whatever. So if you do want us to either be on your podcast or you want to reach out and join on ours, we're more than open to any suggestions on that. So please just message us and let us know if that is something you do want to do. The door is always open. We'll probably never say no, to be fair.
No, especially me. I'm always like, oh yeah, cool, yeah. More networking, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's normally me you speak to anywhere on the socials, really.
It is.
So, yeah.
So just message Paul and he'll be like, yes. And then I'll be like, well, actually, we're busy that day. And then we'll probably make an agreement on what day we can do.
Yeah.
So always open and available to new and exciting things.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the episode. So, the first film we're going to be talking about today is one that I initially thought when I was like planning what we're going to do for like the 100th episode, and I was thinking like of a film that would like kind of like encompass everything that we've kind of like encountered through our film viewing journey, and also kind of things like that we both enjoy elements of that, which is it's got Christmas. One thing, it's got horror, and it's a musical, which we know we both like La La Land and Singing in the Rain.
Yes.
So I thought, this would be a good option to do like a full episode dedicated to it. But then I thought, I need a bit more than just that for like a 100th episode. So I posed the question to you, and then we kind of talked over it. So we've got other ones that we're going to be talking about.
In 3.
Yeah,
it's a trilogy.
In this one, like we would for the like birthday specials and stuff. But this first one we're going to be talking about is Anna and the Apocalypse.
Yes. So this one I know I had for a while. You were telling me about this one and I was like, it's not a Christmas film. I hadn't seen it. I didn't know nothing about it. All I knew was apocalypse, zombies. Like literally that's where my brain went. So I'm like, really, Paul? It's Christmas and you're putting in something scary. Also, the fact of, in my head, you've kind of shortened my Christmas down anyways. We've only covered a few.
Yeah, I know.
And you were like, well, it is a Christmas film. I'm like, I was really, really wanting. I couldn't comprehend how a zombie film was going to be related to Christmas whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then I was sat there, and I was like, lulled, I think, into this false pretense initially. Because like a good chunk of it is quite nice and fluffy. It's like it feels like this school kind of drama piece.
And admittedly, I hadn't seen this before at all, so I was coming into new to this as well. This is the first time watch for me as well,
which was really nice. Even though I kept on forgetting that because I think we've watched so many films together.
Yeah, you just assume.
I kept on going, Paul, what's going to happen? You're like, I don't know, and I'm like, what? How do you not know, Paul?
No, this is the first time watch for me, and So I didn't know what, in terms of what to expect, really. There'd been like posters saying like it's a like La La Land meets Shaun of the Dead or something like that on the poster. So it's kind of like, okay, we're getting those vibes from it, and that is very apparent in a lot of the way that the acting is delivered, and obviously the singing that's going on in it.
Shaun of the Dead, that's with Simon Pegg, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. Which
is that when that's to do with an apocalypse? Isn't it?
It's a similar scenario, really. It's very, very similar vibes. It's
Are you classing that one's not at Christmas, is it?
No, it's not. No.
Oh, okay.
No. But it's the way it's set up is like, oh right, it's, everyone's got a cough and cold and everything, and it's like, and then this unknown virus and stuff, and then you kind of like, oh, what's going on there? In Shaun of the Dead, this is, and then you next day you wake up and everything, he's going down the street and he's
a zombie.
Everything seems normal, but he's kind of ignorant to it all, because there's like a part where like Anna's dancing down the street, she's got her earphones in, and she's totally oblivious to what's going on. So again, that's very reminiscent of what Shaun of the Dead is like.
I'm wondering, when was this film released?
2017.
So La La Land was La La Land before this then?
Yes, it will have been. Yeah.
Oh my god, that seems like La La Land was not so long ago.
Yeah, I think that was just like a year before.
Right. Okay. So obviously coronavirus wasn't a thing at this point. So does everyone think that we're going to turn into zombies then after all of this?
I don't know, because Shaun of the Dead was way, way back in the day. So
but why do they think it's a cough and then like, oh, this pandemic kind of virus thing, and then you get to become a zombie? Because I really felt when Anna it was around Christmas time, like we are now, and she could hear it on the radio and they were saying about cases and all of this kind of thing, and it was like, oh my god, this feels really real.
Yeah.
Until the fact that zombies came into the matter of fact.
Yeah, of course. But films like zombie stuff, that can sort of happen in these kind of films because, well, it's got to start somehow, hasn't it? And that seems most the logical reason. It's like a disease that's infecting people. Unless
it just came from the grave and they were already dead. That's the other thing.
Yeah, like in like Night of the Living Dead or something like that. Yeah.
Like me and you did actually when we were watching this, we did say, didn't we? What would be our tell, like if we were a zombie or not, or if I wasn't me and I was pretending somebody else had took over my body. How would you know by something I did?
I don't think that's so much a zombie. I think that's more like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, like a clone or something of yourself. Yeah, not a zombie, because you'd know if you were a zombie, you'd be like.
I guess but what about if I hadn't turned completely yet? There's that kind of stage, because it seemed to take certain people within this film. Somebody could turn quite quickly.
Yeah.
And then others, like the dad.
So I don't know if it's to do with like sort of self-control or your willpower to stay alive. Because obviously he's got his daughter to think about, where his friend, the other people who's one of the characters' friends, gets turned like say like that in a shot.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but
there's like more determination or something like that within somebody.
Yeah.
So we'll go to the beginning then. So initially, Anna she's at school. She's quite a pretty school girl, but she's not like the popular one, I wouldn't say. She's got like a little kind of niche group. I think she's dated the popular boy, and he broke her heart.
Yeah.
And then she's got her best friend, John, who is clearly just her best friend, but John has more secret feelings than he leads on. And you've got another couple as well within that friendship group.
Yeah.
Which I can do without, really, to be fair. I'm not really fussed too much on that storyline. I don't know.
No, I feel that's really just they seem to have like everything's perfect for them, but everyone else around them is like struggling with their own problems or whatever kind of thing. Like, Anna's wanting to like break away, as she says in one of the songs and such.
Yeah.
John's like, he's got hidden feelings towards her,
which is kind of sung throughout, isn't it? Yeah. So it's like one of those things we kind of get to know the characters a little bit, knowing Anna has got a ticket to go kind of travelling, which her dad wasn't aware of as well.
Yeah, it's kind of got one of those trying to set up something from the get-go, isn't it? It's like, the single father, if your mother could see you now, kind of thing. It's like, is that... It almost feels like, this is so particularly forced drama type of thing, if you know what I mean. Like you would almost like you would on a soap opera kind of thing. Unfortunately, that's one of the things it does kind of like nag at me with that really a little bit.
It's very British. It's very kind of not your teen American, which I actually prefer in a sense, because it's not like you've got your cheerleaders and like
your
High School Musical or Glee kind of.
I know that's what this could almost be interpreted as in a way. I was a bit worried that it would kind of go down that route. Initially, I was thinking, this is okay, with the first song they sang. Whereas, okay, it's not. It did start to get a little bit like that when they were doing the song called Hollywood Ending, where it's kind of like bashing on the tables and standing on the and stuff. It was a bit like, this is kind of leaning towards that way, but not like too over the top of doing backflips and stuff or something like they would in.
I enjoyed it actually, because I used to watch Glee and everything like that, and this is like not as cheesy, and it was working quite well for me. I was like sat there thinking, I'm really enjoying this. I'm like giving Paul some stick.
Well, yeah, I think you said at this point you were thinking I'd seen it already, didn't you? And it wasn't like 30 minutes in thinking, what, you hadn't? No, I haven't seen this for the first time, but I was enjoying this. Most of the songs I enjoyed. Like when they were doing the Hollywood Ending song, when they're all in the lunchroom, whatever, cafeteria. And I did like the fact that obviously, like I say, it's not your typical thing, because there's one of the school bully or whatever, and his mates are like, or his friend wanted to get involved, and he's like, no, sit down, kind of things. Like, it's like, you don't start singing and dancing with these losers, kind of thing. So I like that kind of
added
take on it,
to it, didn't it?
It's like, no, we're not doing this. Yeah.
So you do also get another character called Steph as well. So she's, I believe she's a lesbian within this story. She's obviously got a girlfriend, and her parents seem quite distant as well. So she kind of gets brought in. She seems like one of those, bless her, that's a little bit of an outcast. She's not really got any friendship group or...
as such, no.
Yeah, and she kind of clings on to this group a little bit because they kind of... I'm guessing they're a nicer group compared to like you were on about earlier.
Yeah.
Which Anna dated, didn't she? The popular one.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why she was interested in him whatsoever.
I don't really.
John, the whole thing is like John is there, and that's the problem sometimes, isn't it? Like, because he's there, she takes him a bit for granted.
Yeah.
And he's such a lovely character as John.
Is he a bit like your Sam from Lord of the Rings as such, in a similar way?
Yeah, I think so. I think he is my Sam. He's just the sweetest guy, and it's like, oh, this sounds really horrible. You kind of want to have that at school or something like that. This like lovable guy that you can just kind of talk to, and I guess that's kind of you, Paul. But I never had that.
Do you mean like
to be friends with, and then you would grow a relationship? I guess.
Oh, okay, right, from childhood friends to then something more. Right. Yeah, I get it.
But I think he wouldn't have spoken to me anyway, so we would.
No. Unless
I'd have been like, "Hi."
Yeah, maybe I was terribly shy. I was more shy than I am these days. So
bless you. It's good, but I would have given you a chance. I know that. Also, we need to talk about as well within this the teacher. Oh my god, he's a nightmare.
You mean the headmaster? Sorry.
Well, the soon-to-be headmaster who thinks he needs to take authority now. He's literally got an authority trip, hasn't he, on this?
Yeah,
It's like, I'm headmaster, and it's like, I don't give a shit who you are.
Yeah. I was looking at, when we were watching it, it's like, who is he? He looks so familiar.
He does.
I tell you what, he's from. I was like, when I looked back over his like who he's and what he's done. Do you remember the Ricky Gervais Afterlife?
Yeah.
Show? He was the counsellor in that. You know, the one who was
the prick.
It was the prick in that as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the one who kept on saying, "Oh, you need to go out there and bang whoever."
And he was talking about all these
sex
lives, encounters. Yeah, it was him.
Oh, great. So clearly he was a prick in this role, and then Ricky Gervais thought, "Oh,
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I'll have him."
Yeah, I think he's done other stuff, but I haven't seen him in those roles.
No, I haven't. To be fair,
but
would I have done? What's his name? Do we know
the actor or the Paul somebody or other.
Oh, he's named after you.
Yeah, but in this he's called Savage, which I guess is
Savage. Is his last name though? Isn't it?
Yeah. He's just referred to as that on IMDb. So
So you kind of get this lull of security, everything's seeming okay. They're making snow angels, it's all kind of nice and Christmassy. There's lights up and everything, and it's working perfectly for me until, like you said, Anna wakes up the next day.
Yeah. And then I guess that is kind of put to the side for a moment, I guess, with the whole Christmas thing, is what I mean.
Yeah, it gets parked, doesn't it? Yeah. Which clearly it would. It would, yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
It wouldn't be the main focus as such, but in amongst all this kind of stuff, you have, like, instances where they're kind of, like, running through a enclosed space with, like, the Christmas trees warehouse or something, so I guess there's stuff like that, and Anna gets, like, at one point she gets, like, a candy cane thing as a weapon to hit zombies with and all that kind of stuff, so it kind of that's sprinkled in amongst all that, really, and then the carnage. Yeah.
But it's done really well. It's not, like, gory or anything like that. It's not too over the top, really.
No, there's one instance where it's obviously first real sense of gore is when John and Anna are in the park, and they first encounter a zombie snowman in a costume.
Yeah.
And Anna does the seesaw thing and he, like, hits him in the head, and the head comes off and spurts and everything. It's like, yeah, it's quite a quick turnaround of events in terms of, like, that this is happening and this is, like, gore, just, you know, the blood spurting out and everything and all that.
Not scary gore, if that makes sense. Even though there's lots, it's more comically done than...
That was done for comedic effect, definitely, yeah.
So I think that's what it is. It doesn't feel scary.
Yeah, I think you mentioned also the fact that in terms of, like, a zombie film, you wouldn't find them that scary because you could just run away from them.
Yeah, I think this is the thing. Like, people are like, and it's like, well, a zombie walks slow and is like,
yeah,
and it's like, why is that scary? Because all you could do is literally, it's stupid. Like, you can throw something and it'll go the other direction. It's like, it's worse than having a dog. You know, it's literally thick.
Well, I mean,
it's got no brain, has it?
No, not a function. Only a brain in the sense of it's instinctive senses of, like, I need to eat your brains or just eat you, whatever.
But that's it. It's not really. It's not like a proper human coming at me and can physically take me on and attack me.
No, but it's not like throwing a bone, is it, to a dog? Like, go here, boy.
But like, if you put the telly on and it's like, oh, there's a noise there. I'm going to look at that now.
Yeah.
And while that TV's on, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. I will say, it is a fair point of, like, it's a bit stupid that you can just run away from it and that'd be that. But if you're in a enclosed space and you don't know there's one coming around the corner or something, and it kind of takes you by surprise, then you're screwed because it's like he's right there. Trying to get away, you're bitten him. Anything,
but you run.
One bite, you're dead. Or
you're not dead.
You're done for, basically.
Yeah, you're done for.
Yeah. This is it. This is the whole thing with these zombie movies. You know how majority of it's going to end. It's just like who's going to survive for the longest and who isn't, kind of thing.
The only other zombie film I've really watched, to be fair, is that one that when we was in Scotland at the Edinburgh Film Festival, and that was a bit rapey. It was a bit sick, actually.
It was, yeah.
I felt really queasy in the
cinema.
So
did I, admittedly, yeah. I remember, I didn't find that. I was a bit like...
Because, it was just wrong. It was really wrong. I'm not even going to say what it happened, really, because it's like, I don't want to dull our Christmas episode and 100th episode with that film. No. But that is the only one, apart from, obviously, the Simon Pegg one you're mentioning.
Shaun of the Dead, yeah.
I haven't really seen any other zombie films.
No. They're not, in terms of, as much as I like horror, they're not my go-to in terms of, like, horror genre, like, sub-genre, because the only good examples are Night of the Living Dead, which is like a black and white early George A. Romero one. That's like one of the founding zombie films, I guess, in a sense. And Dawn of the Dead, which is another one that he did as well later on. That was in colour, and that's the ones I think of in terms of zombies that are like good examples of that in terms of building a story and all that. But otherwise, they're all kind of the same. I never watched like The Walking Dead TV series because you know what the episodes are going to be. They're going to be, oh, the zombies come in, let's hide away and move on, right, next place. And it's
quite
like
predictable, isn't it? Yeah. Really.
And you know it's going to ultimately end. It's not going to be.
Not going to end well
unless someone develops a cure for
I've
the
never
virus.
seen that though, really, in a zombie film.
Not really, no. But anyway, yeah.
So we're kind of in the bowling. What's it
Bowling
called?
alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's at the moment it is just Anna and John, which actually no, it's not. I lie. Anna and John go to the bowling hall.
Yeah.
And we've got Steph and
Chris.
Chris,
yeah. He's the one who's doing the filmmaking for like
the homeless. I think she wanted to get a true story, didn't she? Did Steph?
Yeah.
And they're in there all together. They're safe for the time being. Obviously, make sure you lock your doors, and then the zombies can't come in. And they've got this ball pool. Mm-hmm. And I think it's Chris and John that are in it, and they're kind of going through celebrities of like who would become a zombie and who wouldn't. And there's this one part where they're like, "What about Taylor Swift?" And John's like, "Tay-Tay's fine. Why would you even say that?" And I just thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. She can't be a zombie now.
No, she couldn't. But
unspeakable, but it's alright for Justin Bieber to be. Yeah. He's always the butt of the jokes. Into everything is like it's easy to have a dig at him for whatever reason.
I feel sorry for him actually. He was a prick, but I feel like he's trying to justify. I get it.
What?
Justify. I'm showing that one of his albums. Justified.
Wasn't that Justin Timberlake's?
Oh, one of them. I don't know. But yeah. So basically, he's trying to be a bit better now, I think, but he's still got a past, hasn't he? It's just not fair.
Yeah, I guess.
But Tay-Tay, can't hurt her. She'd be a good zombie. Now, I'd be scared if Taylor Swift were a zombie. Because if you've seen the legs on her, she'd be able to run.
Probably, maybe not in high heels.
Probably so.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think she would be able to.
But obviously the bowling alley is another good instance of the horror element. Is quite clever. Where obviously when I think they knock off one of the zombies' heads or something, it goes down, knocks the pins over, and then it comes back up like the bowling ball.
That was a bit, yeah.
That's funny. Yeah.
It was quite gruesome. I think I went at that point, but it was the only thing that made me feel a bit.
Not even the bit where he smashes the bowling balls against.
No, because I was thinking that because he wasn't doing anything. I'm like, just get the bowling balls. Come on, like. I think between me and you.
Are you going to say like who's going to survive first?
Well, no, who would be more aggressive? I think it would be me. Like, I think I don't know how I can.
Well, I think I would be knowing it's a zombie. I'm going to, I know I'm not going to be one of those people like, what do I do? Kind of thing, because a lot of in these films, like what like aim for the head, obviously.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get these things where they seem to don't know that zombies are a thing in like pop, from pop culture. If they haven't seen any films that involve zombies, they don't think of the fact that aim for the head. And in some films, they're in a universe where zombies don't exist at all in any kind of form.
Okay.
In terms of
they're
knowledge of, so they're like, I don't know what to do here, and it's like,
well, just whack it, and then you see what injures it, and then you'll figure out what. Yeah, that's my attempt. Like, okay, that didn't work. Next time, right, whack it somewhere else. See which one's more effective. Simple as. But I do think I would be. I don't know. I think out of me and you, I think I'd protect you more. I know it's so bad, doesn't it? But I think with my childhood little experience with me being a duffin,
yeah.
So that's like I used to play fight with my dad. I used to, at one point I winded him when I punched him. We were in Asda and I threw him off guard and just went boom and walloped him in the stomach. And well, he was a 40-year-old man at that point, and I wasn't that young, to be fair.
Yeah, but you obviously don't need to aim for the stomach with a zombie. You just need to aim for the head.
So I'll just punch him in the head and we'll be right.
Yeah. On the back of that, if I had been bitten and was going to turn into a zombie, would you kill me off?
I'd ask you before you turned into a zombie what you wanted me to do with you. If you wanted me to kill you off,
I would. Yes, I would say like for your sake, yes, just end my suffering, because I know I'm just going to be
then
brainless or mindless, and just go after you type of thing. So I'd rather
if I knew that was something you really wanted,
yeah.
Then yes, I would do it.
Because everyone's in that situation and they're thinking, oh, yeah, no, I'd be fine, but in the moment you might be like, oh, I can't do it type of thing. But
I wouldn't look at you while I was doing it, to be fair.
Okay. Right.
If I'm honest.
Yeah, close your eyes.
I wouldn't, but I would find it difficult if I didn't have that conversation with you. I probably would leave you. If I didn't know it was something you wanted me to do.
Okay.
But if I knew you wanted me to do that, then I would do it. Yeah.
But would you'd run off, like, to get away from me? If I said, go, get away before I turn, you'd do that, wouldn't you? And then you'd be like, you might encounter me at some point later on. And then be like, oh my God,
wait until you turn, and then I'd just,
I'd rather, okay. So you wait for me to turn and then kill me? Yeah. Okay, right, as opposed to do it before I turn.
I won't kill you before you turned.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I'd just wait.
Okay, if I went like died as if I was dying, you would, and then immediately after, right, you're dead. You've just passed on, but you're going to wake up in a minute and be a zombie.
No, I'd have to make sure you were a zombie first before I killed you.
Okay, fair enough.
You'd have to be a zombie.
Okay, yeah.
I'd have to just hide somewhere. Even though that sounds sad, because it's like, well, I'd probably just spend time with you until you kind of turned into a zombie, and then I would, like, kill you.
Great. That'll make things a lot easier, won't it?
I'll spend as much time with you before you kind of turned, I think. Mm-hmm. Anyways, what about you? Enough about me. If I became a zombie.
I'd find it hard, but yeah, it depends on the situation, but I would find it difficult, obviously.
Would I go to heaven? Or would I not? Would I just be...
I don't know how it works.
Somebody else would kill me, probably.
Maybe, yeah. In some way, capacity, perhaps, if there were other survivors in this situation. But, yeah.
So if
otherwise,
I got
you're just
bitten,
walking around the world looking for brains.
Would you just run away initially and then kill me later? What would you do?
I don't know. It would be either that, or if you wanted me to, I would just do it there and then.
Kill me before I'm a zombie?
Yeah. Rather waiting around, because waiting around, there might be something coming behind me and I don't know about it. And then I'm like, I'm taken anyway, so... It depends on the situation, of course, but anyway.
Would you not just want me to bite you? And we could be zombies together?
Well, like the couple that have what they think is a Hollywood ending for them, and then they end up they still get bitten by the zombies, but they end up like, they're together, and then there's like a moment when there are zombies that they kind of brush past each other as if they're like, they still kind of know that they're...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holding hands.
Kind of, yeah. But overall, like, with the songs and stuff in it, did you enjoy?
I did, actually, yeah. I don't think there was one that actually grated on me.
Really?
I don't know if there was one for you.
Oh, there was a couple.
I was more thinking of Anna, to be
fair.
Yeah,
no, like, those songs, they're okay, yeah.
Like, everything Anna did, I think, was brilliant. Even John singing, he's Scottish. Yeah. I don't know why, I think that was a Scottish accent that I tried to do then, because he's Scottish.
Scottish, yeah. Yeah, it's close enough, yeah. Well, this film is set in... It's called Little Haven or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's a fictional town in Scotland, so...
Scotland?
Yeah.
It's getting worse.
Yeah. The two songs, for me, that kind of annoyed me, really, were the
ex-boyfriend, that's all I kept naming him as, I don't get his name. Somewhere.
Nick. His, what was it, Soldier at War, when I was a bit weak. You know, when he's like...
Very high-pitched.
Yeah. It was just a bit irritating. It's like, obviously, he's I think one of the characters you meant to hate kind of thing a little bit. He's like sort of cocksure of himself, and then it's like, I'm beating up the zombies and all that kind of stuff. And it's just that song was really crap.
So big-headed as well. I know they sent the army in, didn't they, to kind of kill the zombies, and then what happened was it populated more zombies because
they got attacked, and and
his dad apparently was in the army.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm having to defend for myself and everything like that. And I feel like he's one of those characters that you want to kind of really, really dislike. And then I'm thinking the writers hope at the end you're going to like him. But I didn't. It didn't change.
Yeah, that really didn't change for me in that. There's other films I've seen and it kind of flips around on that. But on this one, I really just didn't really care for him. And sadly, he's one of the survivors. Which
really, really grates on me.
Yeah, when it's the least deserving person to...
Yeah. Which, we'll get to that point yet, which absolutely devastated me, which I've noticed that's the reason why I like it when you've watched a film.
Yeah, so you know what's going to happen.
I can kind of know what's going to happen, you FYI me. And also, it's your fault then that it upsets me. I can't really blame you because you didn't know. So it was and Paul's like, yeah, getting off scot-free, yeah. But I couldn't, and I really wanted to twat somebody.
The other song I didn't like was the Savage's song when he has them all in the school or whatever, and he's like, nothing's gonna stop me now or something. Whatever he's saying like in this weird like ha 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 tone to his singing like.
And the way that he was moving,
you're going
his
to
legs
listen to me, and jumping up on the thing and everything. That's a bit strange. Sorry, like what are you doing, mate? Weirdo,
really creepy though. But I guess that's what he was going for.
Yeah. One of these other songs I liked was the one who was in the relationship and she was all happy and stuff, and her boyfriend didn't show up at when she was doing her
that
jazz.
Was filth, wasn't it?
Yeah, like proper like wink wink innuendo.
I didn't understand that initially because the way that Savage was acting the teacher, finally somebody brilliant was coming on the stage, and then initially he was enjoying it.
Yeah.
And he seemed to be kind of enjoying the filth until he realised what was being said, and then he was absolutely appalled, and I was like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know if that's when the backup dancers came on with no tops on. And,
spoiled it for him.
Yeah, I guess. I do it's kind of like, like the Santa Baby kind of vibe, but obviously a lot more like unload your sack and all that kind of wording play, but it's funny.
Not very Christmassy though, is it?
No.
I don't know why people have to kind of sexualise Santa.
Maybe some people. Well, I think there's a film called Bad Santa. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it, but I've not seen it because why would Santa be bad?
But it's I think it's something to do with one of the characters in that, I believe, is somewhere she has a sexual repression of seeing Santa as a person who she wants to screw. So I don't know. Maybe that's
it's an old man.
I don't know. It's people are weird.
Don't get me wrong. If it was somebody I don't know, Ryan Reynolds, then fair enough, I'd get it. But it's Santa.
God, I don't know.
Well, do you want to screw Mrs. Claus?
No. Oh no. So the fish wrap.
I'm a
fish mother flipper. Yeah, that's funny.
Did actually make me laugh, which is a rarity for me with these kind of things. Because I think this is a comedy.
Oh yeah, heavily
as well,
comedy. Yeah,
as a horror /
Yeah. I think comedy and horror can go hand in hand. Really, like I say, the Shaun of the Dead is very strong in this.
It is. I can see where you're coming from, but weirdly, I didn't enjoy Shaun of the Dead that much. I don't know if I was.
How long ago was did you last saw that?
It was a while ago. It was, and I think me and you were only just starting out, and you were obsessed with Simon Pegg at this point. Yeah. Not saying you don't like Simon, but you were obsessed with him. Yeah. And I was like, I really want to like this, but
we might need to have a revisit of that. Really.
I didn't enjoy it, but maybe my preferences have changed. Mm-hmm. So, going into this, then. They kind of team up with this Nick, who's the ex of Anna, and they're trying to get to the school to see Anna's dad. And my poor little John, he gets bit. Yeah. And I'm like, no, Paul, no. If I'd have known this, I wouldn't have watched it. Merry Christmas, everyone. The nicest character in the film gets into a zombie.
Nice guys finish last. Yeah.
No, that's not the right rule. And why does the ex-boyfriend still live? Who wrote this?
The director and whoever else was involved.
I need to talk to him and tell him to rewrite it. I don't know. It didn't give me a happy ending, and it really, really upset me that John didn't survive.
No, I get what you mean. It kind of caught me off guard as moment, especially the way it happened. He was kind of
He's cute.
Yeah, he was going through the reindeer for some reason, but then he's had a hand out, and then off camera zooms in, and it's pans across, and a zombie bites his hand at that point. It's oh no, kind of thing. It's not like someone just burst through and just got him or whatever in the midst of everything. It's kind of just a off moment because they're thinking, we're all kind of safe, and then just this is what I mean about you can never you got to keep your wits about you, even if you think.
But I feel like Anna actually probably regrets it because I think she did care a lot more about him than she probably let on. And maybe there would have been something, possibly, to be fair. I felt like that's how it would have blossomed.
To give him a chance, but obviously didn't see him that way, but you can't force.
She did. She just didn't want to ruin. I think she did see him that way. It was growing and leaning towards that way, but it was one of those things. She didn't want to spoil the friendship she had with him.
I guess.
Why? Because it's always hard when you're really, really best friends with somebody.
Yeah.
But you want to take it to that next step, but you don't want to spoil what you have. If it doesn't work out, it's that.
No, I know what you mean.
So yeah, I was a bit gutted about that one, to be honest. And after that, I stopped writing. I think I've got like a little paragraph, and I'm like proper annoyed.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing with Nick, anyway, is like you had to amount to like saying you had to kill his dad, and you're supposed to like feel sympathy for him at that point. And he like cries for like 2 seconds, and then switches back to like hard mode when he's like, "Oh, enough of this kind of thing. I've got to man up. I'm going to go fight the zombies again." It's like it seems a bit. What's that all about? Really,
trying to be a hard man, isn't he?
Yeah, but why show that
side
emotional breakdown for that 1 second and then just carry on being like who you were? Just either have that or don't, you know.
He also has that moment with Anna as well, where he's like, "Why did we break up? Why were you like that with me?" And it's like because apparently she'd opened up and then he didn't talk to her the next day, and then they broke up, kind of thing. She thought they'd had a moment. Mm-hmm. So he's just a bit of a dick of a character, really. And it's like, but yet they think, oh, that's a good way to end it, with him living.
And so the film ends with Anna, him, and Steph.
I like Steph. I feel like she kind of grows into her own character, and I think it shows that she's a bit of a wallflower.
Yeah. Within
this school and everything like that. It's like, yeah,
she's American as well, so yeah, so kind of that isolation of that as well going on.
Yeah, and obviously her parents are not around. She's also got the fact that she's got to be. Obviously, she's a lesbian. And it's kind of that acceptance piece, which it should be there clearly.
Yeah.
But it might not be for some, so that's a lot harder. Mm-hmm. And you can just tell she's got a lot of struggles
going on. Yeah.
Yeah. So we also have a bit beforehand where Anna is going to find her dad.
Yeah.
And they get to the school. Obviously, you've got the creepy scene with him locking the children in with the zombies, does the teacher. Mm-hmm. And then you've kind of got this battle with Anna and Savage.
Yeah.
And that's a bit all bizarre, and there's a bit of a sing-songy...
Yeah. Battle between them two there, yeah.
And I really think her dad as well, this is another thing that shocks me. It's like, okay, John got bit, right, so she's going to free her dad and get away that way. Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen either, does it? There's no happy endings in this story.
No, there's not. It's, I wouldn't say a twist as such, because I feel like there's going to be that element to the fact of, you know, her dad gets a bite somehow or whatever, and it's kind of like Anna's got to grow up and like, you've got to be out on your own now. She was going to do that anyway, but now she's got the actual realisation that she can't stay.
She's got no choice.
She's got no choice now, so she has to move on and stuff.
My question is, when they get in the car, like, where to now?
Yeah,
and they're like, just drive kind of thing.
Yeah, very open-ended.
But, okay, I've got some zombie questions.
Okay.
Because this technically is my second zombie film, I would say. Can't even remember how Shaun of the Dead or whatever ends, to be honest.
They kind of almost accept that zombies are a part of their world now. And there's like on TV and like, you know, I dated a zombie and they're on like game shows and stuff and everything. So it's kind of like almost
how do the zombies not eat people though?
Controlled. I don't know. They don't go into that level.
Stupid.
But anyway.
So part of me thinks, how do they know wherever else they're going, there isn't going to be zombies?
Well, this is the thing. You don't know how far it spreads, of course, do you?
So, and if they're going into there, then are they spreading the
virus? Much like the virus that, you know, it started in thing and now it's gone worldwide, isn't it? With this. So, it's just the same principle, isn't it? It's like, it's going to be probably everywhere.
By the time we're done.
Yeah.
So...
Is there any more zombie-related questions, or was
that
that
it? That it's just like, well, how do you, unless you become a zombie, how does a zombie film end? Like, would you cage them up? Would you kind of move them all onto an island and burn them? Mm-hmm. How would you resolve a zombie apocalypse?
Yeah, this is the problem I sort of have with those kind of films because there's no real clear resolution to those situations.
It's like it's a horror, but
we're all screwed. It's just inevitable.
I think that's the problem because, like, in a horror film, normally the
killer is either
killed
or it's just one person, and it's not going to affect like like in Halloween or whatever. And it's like he's there out of there somewhere, but he's going to come back. But it's just one person, essentially. So not like a whole. It's not everybody's a suspect.
Not everybody's problem. It's not like worldwide. This is.
It's just to a town.
Yeah, and I don't know. A part of me thinks, well, people have bunkers and such. There's also that game, isn't there, to do with zombies? It's a really popular game on the Xbox or something. My sister played it. He had this little girl with black hair.
Oh, that was The Walking Dead.
Was it The Walking
Telltale series. That was a good game. I did enjoy that, obviously, but that's a game rather than I enjoy that more.
That's what I meant.
Watching the TV series because at least that's a bit more interactive.
I've not even seen the TV series.
No, I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes at the beginning and thinking, no, this isn't for me.
But how did you learn how they survived, or did they just have to?
No, just carried on.
Carried on looting and living the life.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you live in a community barred in by walls and stuff, and that's how.
Why can't you bar the zombies in?
Well, that's easier said than done, isn't it?
Put a crate over them or something.
Could be lurking anywhere though. That's the thing. You think you've got them, and then someone other pops up.
Anything else, Dad?
Yeah, just a couple of things I picked up from took some time to look at the documentary that was on about the making of the film.
Mm-hmm.
There was supposed to be an opening number for the film. I think that was kind of saw it briefly when I was skimming through the extras on the list that we have got, and it was saying about there was supposed to be in that arcade bit as there was supposed to be the opening, but there was like a Santa or whatever, and but that was supposed to be like a La La Land opening, but I don't think that happened because of the weather was just like 1 minute sunny, then snowy, then rainy, and it's just like they can't use this as footage, so they kind
typical British weather, but or Scottish weather, should I say?
Yeah, terrible. Yeah,
always snows up there.
And the fact that there's because everything was sort of normalish to begin with, like the colour in the background, the lighting and stuff was all kind of like bright and vibrant, and then the darker colours and the black tone, that colour palette started coming in a bit more as shit was getting more intense, really.
The darker it was, the darker the kind of image.
Yeah, so as the story progresses, so does the colour tones in the scenes that's going on, really, and then everything kind of also gets a bit more like, I guess, like sickly green and stuff as, everything sort of sours. As well as what they were talking about as well, so that's kind of like I didn't pick up on that as such this time in terms of when I'm normally quite good with like the colours of scenes and stuff, but maybe it's kind of a bit more subtle, really, in terms of what they were going for in this.
I think I can see it now that you've said it, but it probably needs another watch because there's quite a lot going on in this film, really. Yeah,
I don't know if. In terms of like rewatching again, I don't think this is one I'd watch like every Christmas type of thing. Maybe like every other.
Yeah.
Come back to it again, of course, but it's not like, oh yeah, I must see that again, really.
Not around Christmas time. Even though it's got Christmas elements, I feel like it's one of those things you could probably watch it in
like November or something.
Even like October, it's gory enough.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of Christmas in it, but it wouldn't be. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say it's full outright a Christmas film.
No,
It's half certainly a Christmas film.
It's certainly more Christmas elements than some films might. Some people might class as a Christmas film, but it's definitely more like a comedy horror drama. I guess was the best way of putting that, really. Right, if you're ready to go to the scoring on this first section, we'll go with you first.
Okay, I'm just betting in my head where I'm going to go. Mm-hmm. So really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the musical side of it. The Christmas element was brilliant until it disappeared. I think I'm definitely going to have to deduct like half a point just for the fact that John got bit.
Okay.
Very, really biased by me, but that is going to happen. I would definitely watch it again. I was pleasantly surprised because when you said zombie apocalypse, I didn't know it was a musical until we kind of opened up and you were like, yeah, it's a musical. And I'm like, oh okay.
I'm sure I mentioned that to you before.
I just think it's weird. It is weird the way that it's done. but it's something I've never seen before.
No, definitely say that. Yeah.
And I think that's what's intriguing about it. I would definitely watch it again, and I think it's enjoyable. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was gonna for a zombie apocalypse film.
Yeah.
So it would have been an 8.
Okay.
If John would have lived. So I'm going to say 7.5, just for the fact that he dies.
Okay.
If he'd have been in replacement of Nick, that'd have been a good ending for me.
Okay, that's I quite higher than I thought you were potentially going to give it. Really.
Feeling jolly,
despite it not being too Christmassy.
I think he had some really good characters. I think that always helps me within films.
Good. I'm quite happy with that scoring.
What about you?
Only slightly lower than yours, actually.
Oh my goodness, it's a horror film, Paul.
Horror, yeah, but it's not like I'm scared or anything. It's like I say, like zombies. Horror is not like that really does it for me or anything like that. So it's nothing gripping in that sense. Don't get me wrong. It was some of the hits and stuff were like kind of comical with how they played out and stuff like that, and quite creative. I enjoyed the songs for the most part. There's a couple I mentioned before and everything. Since it wasn't as too corny as I thought it was going to be. It's definitely, in terms of songs that I would maybe listen back to on like Spotify or whatever, I think it would be just more the ones that more like focus on the Christmas element, as opposed to listening to them the cast singing. It wouldn't be like, I must have that playing on the thing, because it only in the context of the film where you got the visuals to relate to, then yes, it works perfectly fine. I did like the fact that it's the main whole thing of the story is like Anna coming to terms with her leaving home, growing up, and it's kind of like appreciating what you have in that moment, because obviously she's like most teenagers, I just want to get away and stuff like that, and then like obviously a very extreme case of the crisis like this, her dad's been bitten and her friends are bitten, and now she's like, you don't know what you got till it's gone, type of thing.
It's one of those kind of relatable things when you kind of in that stage of being at school, gone to college or sixth form, and then you kind of flying the nest, going to uni. It's like that stage of the do I go to uni? Do I not? You're an adult, but you're not, and you still feel really like you heavily rely on your parents' choices.
That's true. Yeah, and the characters for the most part, they're enjoyable, and I think for what it was, it works.
What about John?
Yeah, I do like him. Yeah, I wanted him to live. Obviously, I didn't want Nick to live, because he annoyed me. He was one of the weaker points from the film. It's just like, get away. So,
do you mark down a point because John doesn't live?
I guess so, but my overall score is going to be a 7.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Definitely something I would want to come back to at another point. But
top you up, because you're going to get even crankier soon, aren't you?
Yeah. But next one up is not the Christmas one that we're going to be talking about. We're kind of like break it up.
Yeah.
In terms of that, we're going to talk about a Japanese animation. We'll be right back. And we're back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we're now going to be talking about Kiki's Delivery Service. Everyone's favourite Christmas film.
Yeah, it's not a Christmas film at all. I understand why you're wanting us to do this one, though.
Yeah, would you like to enlighten people if they don't know?
If they don't know, this was our first ever film review.
Yeah.
I think we were experimenting on what we wanted to do and how we wanted this to look at this point, weren't we?
Mm-hmm.
We'd only just started out.
Yeah.
Is it like 10 minutes? Not even that?
I think, as I rightly recall, we did do a bit more of a kind of an analysis.
Mm.
We kind of went through almost like beat for beat almost throughout the film. But what the idea initially was intended to put these clips on YouTube and have them as like little animated,
which would have been amazing,
clips.
But the time that would take, we wouldn't be able to get.
Yeah, even with the simplified animation stuff, it would take too long. just doing with my day job doing animation as it is, it was already time consuming to do that kind of stuff, so it didn't quite work out that way. And I think this is a much easier format to just talk, and a lot more in depth anyway,
and more enjoyable in that sense.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of good for you as well. It's making this like something on the sideline as well.
So I wanted to include this one in this 100th episode, obviously, to kind of like a roundabout way of going from the beginning and give it an actual proper in-depth review, as opposed to what we published to the public initially.
You made me listen back to it, and I was like, what am I even saying? Hanging on about this cat thing. I'm thinking, really? So is that all you bothered about? Like,
yeah.
I'd like to think I progressed a lot while doing this.
I'll be interested to hear what you've taken down this time as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we just watched it with the English dubbed, didn't we? Yeah. Whereas this time we watched it with subtitles in the Japanese language, which I think for myself, again, was kind of like a first time doing that as well, because I think I'd only watched it a couple of times with just the English voices on it. So for whatever reason, I think
it seems to be more though now. I'm better with subtitles and such.
And I feel like anyway, I picked up a lot more this time because I was reading, and that sounds daft as opposed to what they were saying. So, which is like, oh yeah, I kind of see that now. The way that is what it's going to try to convey and stuff. So it's kind of good that we did it that way.
No, I agree. I picked up on a lot more than probably I did last time. I've seen this.
Yeah.
And with it being in Japanese, I don't know, I felt like I focused more on it. Because I had to read, and then there were certain little intricate bits that I just could see more vividly, which I'm thinking, never saw that last time. It was a big chunk of the film I'd completely forgotten about as well, which is like, okay, where did that bit go? I will say, though, I think this is scary for anybody, but she's only 13 years old. So I will reiterate that, because I know I've probably said that in the past. And she's a witch, and it's like, okay, go be an independent woman and fly to a town. Yeah,
which is almost kind of sort of parallel to what Anna and the Apocalypse was in a sense, because of the fact that, she was like, obviously a girl.
She was a bit older.
Who wanted to break away from her town and stuff and see the world or whatever. But obviously this is slightly different because, it's just a different scenario overall.
But I don't know why 13 years old. I know normally, I think it's 13 years old you become a witch, or you can apply your magic or something like that. Like in Hogwarts, you go to school then. And in Halloween Town, she was allowed to know she was a witch at 13 or something, or if she didn't become a witch at 13, she would lose her power, something like that. So something to do with the number 13 is relevant.
Okay. I think of obviously like when young kids are the anime of Pokemon. Is you like a 10-year-old, and you can just go out in the world. You get your trainer's license, and you can be go out into the dangerous world catching Pokemon. It's like, why would you do that at such a young age?
Japanese people I don't know if it's all right to do that at that time, or maybe if it's safer over there. But you seem to become more independent quite quickly over there.
Yeah, they are very much work orientated, aren't they? Anyway, so maybe there's something in that, perhaps.
Well, the fact that she was meant to go camping was Kiki on the night that she decides to go.
Ditch her dad, yeah. I noted that down as well. Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a bit harsh. She wants to spend time with you. And you're like, nope, sorry, I have to go and be independent now. See you later.
Strong, independent woman now. Yeah.
I don't know.
No time for you.
I'm just trying to think of myself as a 13-year-old. I remember going into upper school at that point. And not enjoying being in upper school. Because I think when you're in year 6, you're the big fish of the primary school, you feel...
Oh yeah, you're at the top level of that level in school, yeah.
Exactly, you're the big wig really, and you're kind of like, yep, okay. And then you kind of think that you're better than, you're more experienced and everything. Then you go into upper school. And
then you're back where you started. It's like a job, isn't it? Going back to...
Literally, the scum of the sea, basically. You're like, not even like a little cell. You're nothing again. And it's like, it's that kind of finding your feet, I guess, is what this is about.
Yeah. This is definitely what the story's trying to convey, really. It's kind of like getting her to find her place in the world and, like, start a career out there and everything.
I didn't even have a job when I was 13. You probably had a paper round, I don't know.
I did. That was my first job. I can't remember what age I started. But
I didn't have a job when I was 13 years old. I didn't. I don't think I would have been confident enough. I had it all upon me when I used to have to go on a bus. I remember that used to be a problem for me. Do you remember?
What do you mean? Sorry.
I didn't like going on buses.
Oh, yeah, you had a thing with that. You always got driven around.
I did. I got chauffeured around. I didn't like going on a bus on my own.
Yeah,
I think
right.
it... So, yeah.
Yeah.
So the thought of getting on a broom for me at the age of 13, I'm like, this is nearly impossible. If I can't even get on a bus, then I'm not going to be going independently. Maybe if I had my own broomstick, I'd be all right. But I really loved Kiki as a character.
Oh, yeah.
She's so lovable. She's got such gumption and...
It's just very simplistic in her outfit and everything, isn't it? It's just
Yeah, but iconic as well.
Yeah. You kind of know that she's got the red bow and the... Well, they refer to it as black dress, but I think it's like a dark blue. But
yeah, I can see where you're coming from. But obviously witches wear black.
Yeah. And they have a black cat.
Yeah, because really that dress is not kind of the same shade, is it, really?
Yes, it's
as
Gigi. Yeah.
Gigi is an amazing cat.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
I wish we had a cat like Gigi. We've got Arthur, but Arthur's not as sassy as Gigi.
No, we can't understand what he's saying.
Also, Arthur, I feel like he'd be talking to me like an old man. Like, hello, Sophie, how are you? I feel like that's what I'd have. Whereas Gigi comes across a bit Italian.
Hey?
In my head. It kind of like got that Italian...
Do you remember what he sounded like in the...
No.
In the English dub? No?
No.
Okay. Well, he's not Italian in that, I can tell you that much. I don't know where you're getting that from.
I think it's his sass.
Okay, fair enough. The voice. Do you remember from Jingle All the Way, bringing it back to Christmas?
I like this. Yeah, the little small one.
Not Arnold, his neighbour, the one who's like trying to move in on his wife.
Yeah.
The one who's like apparently the hunk of the block or whatever, the bachelor or whatever. Yeah. Does the same voice as Gigi in the in the American version.
Okay.
So it's
really.
American.
But it seems just like a little bit of a sassy little cat.
But he's good in that in terms of acting in that, so it works. And in this, he's definitely got that cat sass in the Japanese track as well. So
I love him in the Japanese one. I do, and I picked up on little things that Gigi did more this time. So like, there was one point where he loved anything that had a black cat on it. Like,
he's like, hey, it's me.
Yeah, oh, it's me. And he's like, with the cage when Kiki does her first delivery, and he's like, looking like that's me. Then there was a cup that was Gigi. Then there was something else as well that he saw himself in, and it was like about 3 things that came to it. I just thought it was quite funny the way he did.
But I guess that kind of reflects on how a cat would be. Maybe like, would they look in the mirror and thinking, oh, there's another cat in the room, what are you doing here, kind of thing. Or they maybe don't realise it's them, but they think it's another cat or whatever. So,
but I think it's really endearing and cute, and I feel like he has this sweet
personality to him.
Yeah.
It's kind of like almost like sarcastic tone in some situation when like Kiki's like like optimistic about stuff, and he's like trying to bring her down to earth, like, oh, I don't know about this place or whatever it is, or things like that.
We can always leave.
Yeah.
Or,
yeah.
Are you sure you want to live here?
Yeah.
Until he meets the white cat, and then he's kind of changes his tune a little, doesn't he? Yeah, smitten kitten.
But I don't know as to obviously the whole thing with her being, going to this, doing a year out, almost like a gap year, almost, to live in the real world, so to speak, and in a town or whatever. How does she know whether a witch is already occupying that place or not? Because if she went down to this like port town, whatever, and like, oh, is there a witch here? And someone goes, yep, sorry, I've seen one the other day and be like, oh, I've got to go find somewhere else now. Like, what is this town ain't big enough for the two of us type of.
But I don't get why. There should be only just one witch. I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah, because of the fact also because, I mean, with what Kiki does in terms of witchy stuff, all she does is fly around in a broom. There's no she's not doing spells like in Harry Potter or anything like that.
Or potions or anything like that to help. Yeah. So it's really, you could have another witch doing something else, a different job.
Just like anything, isn't it? You get different people doing different tasks. Yeah.
So you could have more than one witch in one town, unless it just stunts their development. I
don't see how.
No, I don't really. I just think it's quite scary going into a town on your own. To be fair though, I never did that at uni. I stayed in my comfort zone. I think the scariest I've done is gone to Australia for 4 weeks. Well, technically I'm not on my own, but not with really close, dear ones. I'd say. And I think that's the scariest I can relate to.
Yeah.
And I think for me that was scary enough.
Yeah, but you weren't in a situation where you didn't have anywhere to stay.
No.
Or, what am I doing here kind of thing.
You're
no job,
lucky.
no money as such.
Yeah.
Whereas she's kind of lands in the thing and is asking around almost like, hey, how you doing kind of thing, and expecting, everyone to be like,
to applaud her.
Yeah, you're a witch.
Oh my god, there's a witch.
Yeah.
But,
whereas they're not shunned as such, oh, I can't be doing with you type of thing, but everyone's kind of just going about the business almost like normal. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. I've got no time for you.
You're not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's not like the Queen's come.
Yeah, it's almost like that kind of side of things is kind of forgotten about, like witchcraft or someone flying in a broom isn't that impressive anymore. It's kind of like, we're modern time. Even though it's set in the 50s, I think.
Yeah, it does have that 50s vibe, and which I quite like. Obviously the cars are the same vibe, and the music, it feels a bit French.
Yeah, it's like a European vibe to it, which is kind of nice, like you say, French.
Yeah. But I do think they don't really care for witches whatsoever. And I think it's a bit unfair how Kiki's mum possibly has given her that intention that you're going to go to a town and they're going to love you. And that's not really the case.
It's never delved into how well she was established before she became well known in where she was situated and stuff, and how all that background, you don't know the ins and outs of all how that.
But it just makes it feel a bit more apparent that Kiki's mum settled in quite nicely once she'd met that lady.
Yeah.
That she was kind of still doing the potions and medicines
and stuff. Yeah, but so as far as in terms of her witchiness, that's all she's kind of known for. She's not doing having potions fly up in the air and mixing themselves or anything like that. It's kind of, she's kind of doing a chemistry set almost.
Yeah.
That's kind of stuff. So it's the wizardry or however you want to call it isn't like in Harry Potter where it's got all these super
they don't have a
effects
wand
or anything like that. Yeah.
Also, I love the fact that she's obsessed with the radio.
Oh, Kiki,
yeah. She's wanting that nearby. She kind of likes it for little news updates and some music and everything like that. Kind of shows her young.
Yeah, I noted down. It's kind of she's almost I'd have radio when a kid's just passed the driving test. I can turn on the radio, kind of think I'm cool now.
Yeah,
I'm independent to do that. Yeah, the new driver can have the responsibilities of having the music on while they're driving, cruising down the road, whatever.
It's cute.
Yeah. The whole thing with obviously a lot of flying in this, obviously, because obviously
that's the main job. Yeah.
I think because of how Hayao Miyazaki is very big on aviation and stuff. I think he's kind of capturing that in terms of a physical person as opposed to just a person in a plane and stuff. It's kind of capturing that element quite well in a kind of spellbinding way. It's kind of oh wow, this is amazing. Kind of in a way that kind of captures your imagination. You can with a plane, it's kind of you can expect that because obviously it's a person on a broom. It's something fantastical.
He does it really well, and there's certain scenes where Kiki's struggling a little bit with the broom, and he makes it more realistic.
Yeah.
Not just getting on a broom and you're like, woof, I'm
easy
off.
peasy. Yeah.
It makes it realistic, and you can relate to it. even though you don't fly a broom, you can relate to the fact of like getting in a car and it not starting or you stalling.
No. But like some of the shots, you know, like when she's hovering over the town or whatever, and it's like, oh, this is amazing kind of thing, and it's like
just the beauty of it all is just so cleverly done and hand drawn and.
Well, you kind of expect that from Ghibli films.
Well,
and stuff,
the new one that we half watched.
Yeah. The 3D element in that new one, earwig, whatever. It's
You couldn't gel with it, could you?
I really couldn't. It's too far removed, I think, from what's thing. But he's getting on a bit, and he
can't draw as much, can he, as he used to. It's not his fault. It's just the way that the world is.
Yeah,
it's just how
I know
life
he's
goes.
got stories to tell, but he's got to let it go.
It's not a Kiki though delivery service or like a Totoro.
No. So in terms of like her getting established and stuff, I think we mentioned this in our brief review of that. It was like almost like a fluke chance that she managed to find somewhere to stay and everything, but obviously that's to progress the story and everything.
I do wonder if this hadn't have happened with the pacifier and obviously the lady at the bakery.
Yeah.
What
would she have done? I think I said she'd be sleeping on the streets or whatever. And
where would she have gone, bless her? Or would she have had to... Because it was Tom that was quite interested at that point in her, still.
Tombo.
What's his name?
Tombo. Tomboy.
Tomboy.
With Where's Wally?
Yeah. So, I don't know if she'd have put... How would she have known where he lived? That would have been another route, possibly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because he was the only one who was like, fascinated, because he'd probably never seen a witch.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. For the early years, he's kind of just... For the early stages, he's kind of like referring to as Miss Witch. And it's like... that's a bit of... Almost like a...
It's a bit of a cliche, isn't it? It's like kind of saying Miss Woman. It's like pointing out the obvious.
Oi, lady. Yeah. Kind of like a rudeness to the whole situation.
Yeah. A bit ignorant, that's it.
Yeah.
But... that would be the only other way I could think it would go, unless she had to sleep rough for a night. Which she already technically kind of did, didn't she, with the fact that it started really raining when it was meant to be a clear night.
Yeah, can't trust the weather.
No, you can't. And she ended up in the train with the hay bales for the cows.
Yeah. At least she shaved some time off travelling, I suppose.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. But I do think the baker is like the lifesaver in this story. She becomes the mother figure.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like showing in that the fact that, like having a good, it's who you know type of thing, get established with something, someone gets you a foot in the door thing and someone to help you boost, like a starting point and who's so giving and everything to give a helping hand and then you give that little push to get you started, then it's really great to have someone like that.
And she don't have to do anything.
No, she really doesn't.
She's doing.
No, but of course, this is a Ghibli film, so everyone's so super nice and everything. Everyone's perfect. But yeah,
it's a case of she's pregnant herself. Bless her, is the baker.
Yeah.
She's got obviously baking duties and a shop to run.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that other man is her husband or not.
Yeah, it seemed certainly at the end it's kind of implied. He didn't say a great deal. Obviously, he's kind of like the stoic, and stuff. But yeah, I'm guessing it's their a family-run business.
Because I think he looks
husband and wife
younger than her.
Yeah,
because the baker looks, I don't know, she looks like an older lady compared.
Yeah,
I'm thinking I don't really know what the relationship there is, but I'm assuming it was that they were a partnership.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did seem a bit odd, that did to me. And he's a man of very, very few words. Does he even speak? He more just grunts, I think.
Yeah, and kind of winks at Gigi and stuff like that. Yeah. But he does do a good gesture at one point. I think when she's kind of established as Kiki's delivery service, he bakes her a little bread sign in for the window in the shop because obviously the kind of it's the bakery / delivery service.
Which I think is so sweet. Yeah. And also, the lady, she's like, you can have my phone as long as you help out in the shop. We'll do this. We'll make you breakfast. Really doing a lot for this kind of little witch, really.
Yeah.
And also helping with the delivery service. Even though, to be fair, if I was a witch, I wouldn't be going down the delivery route. Because the fact that she gets... It's like being on a motorbike, isn't it? You're not sheltered from any weather conditions.
No, not really. Because, the first delivery was that toy in the cage. the cat and everything, and it starts raining there.
Just got windy, didn't it? Because of the
it got windy. Yeah.
because the what the word?
The geese were in a V formation, and it's like, Gigi says, "Oh, you're talking to them." It's like, "Oh, they're gonna go up because there's wind."
I have a question. I don't know what you think. Do you think animals can talk to one another? No, I don't know if I'm being ignorant. I think you're gonna laugh at me. I feel like cats probably can communicate. I feel like it's a language. So,
do you mean with other cats?
Yes. So cats.
Well,
with
yeah,
cats
of course.
can
It's just
talk.
like we can talk with.
But then I feel like a dog would be a different language. So it's like he would speak, let's say, cats speak English and dogs speak French. You know, I feel like they wouldn't understand one another. That's how my brain works.
Possibly, yeah, because we always do this with animals. Like we think, oh, why doesn't it just do what I say, or like why is it behaving that way? It's because they've got a different, obviously, brain and mindset and of how things work in their little lives. So there's no way we can truly understand like how a lion would think, how a bird would think, or
a bird could talk to a cat.
No, only in cartoon world.
Because when they were doing it, I'm thinking, okay, interesting. So do they actually think that happens? Because I would think it's a different language. Like, that's how I would interpret.
Could well be.
Is that what you think, or is that just a me thing?
I hadn't thought much about that, to be honest. I just take it for face value of like, oh, because it's a cartoon. In this situation, yes, animals can talk to other animals because that makes sense.
Do you believe a cat can talk to another cat? Or communicate in some form?
I could envision that, yes, of course. I didn't think... Maybe cats and dogs can because they're very in close proximity to other most of the time. Maybe. But in terms of a cat and a bird, probably not. No. I don't know. I didn't give it too much thought.
I don't know why. It just was like, Even though there's been other things, like we watched that Robin.
Yes.
Which is a Netflix original, is it?
Yeah.
And all them animals spoke to one another. I didn't question it, but for some reason, I don't know why. It just, when I was watching this, I was like,
Yeah, see, I think that's just a common thing that just... Because for story's sake, it wouldn't be much fun if the bird and the cat are going, what? To another, and they're like, what are you saying? And going, give me a...
I feel like Gigi was like the interpretator though of all animals, and I was like, that's what it made it feel like.
I think it's just more for a story point of thing rather than just
coherent.
Yeah, to explain the situation, what's happening. Otherwise, yeah. So
I feel like with Kiki being obviously the first delivery service and everything like that, she's so humble, and I feel like I remember being like that when I was little. You're like, oh, thank you so much, and you don't want to charge anyone too much.
Oh, yeah. You know, like when I started trying to do like freelance stuff, and it's like, I don't know what's a good rate. Don't want to undersell myself too much, but don't want to be like taking the piss.
I don't want to take them too much for granted, and I want to have their business. Yeah. I'll do it for free just so that I get some experience. And it's all of that, and it kind of brought me back to when I was trying to do that with my photography, I guess.
Yeah.
And I felt that same kind of thing, where it's like, oh, no, that's too much. You don't need to give me that.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'd be like, actually, this is what I'm worth.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it, how just a couple of years on you...
Exactly, yeah.
Your mindset changes and you know what you should be worth.
Yeah. But for her, obviously, this, first impressions are very important, and this is kind of like, oh no, I've booked this up because I've lost the thing about I've got to get this delivered, otherwise this looks bad on me, which is fair enough. So Gigi has to be a substitute for the doll and everything, and that's like a nice little touch of bringing that across in a comical way. Of like,
it works really well.
Again, for a timer on the situation, like I'll be right back. Just play it out, and then be my doll for me for a little while, and I'll go and get what I've dropped. Everything it's really clever.
It is really clever, and as well, to be fair, the dog within the home really helps them out a lot.
Again, obviously communicating with one another there, so animals can talk to one another. Yeah.
I don't know if it was telepathic or something at this point, because they weren't barking and meowing at one another, so it was like they were reading each other's minds.
I think that was maybe off screen. I think.
Oh, do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Telepathy dogs and cats and. Yeah, no, I don't think they're that clever.
But I do think it's a lovely... It's just lovely in general, I think this is really.
Yeah. I think the most thing I got out of this one overall is the whole. It's more the back end. With obviously as she kind of like trying to get her business up and running and everything, and more the part when she kind of loses her powers in a sense. She kind
I felt that really touched me this time. Whereas last time I watched it, I didn't feel it as much, and this time I really felt it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's kind of like oh my god, like this is. I kind of like understand what this is going for now in terms of the story, because you might just think, oh, it's just a witch just delivering stuff is on face value. That's what you might think it is, and but it's more the fact of flying is her job basically, and her confidence is in it is kind of diminishing because that's all she's all she's got, and with everything going on in this new situation that she's in and everything, it's kind of like, oh, it's a bit stressful, and it's almost like like weighing down on her a little bit, and so. I forget the lady in the cabin. I forget her name now.
I forget her name too.
Yeah, but she brings up a point like later on when we kind of like come back to her as a character, and like it's a bit like artist block basically, or writer's block, where it's like you get so involved in trying to do your work, and then you can't do nothing's working out for you. But you have to step back, have a breather, relax a bit, and then you come back to it, and you write as rain again. You go back to, you get the creative surge back. So this is the kind of situation that's kind of reflecting on her. She's kind of hit a wall. Kiki has, in terms of doing stuff, and she's gotten too much on her plate in terms of like emotional baggage.
Yeah, she has. And she's had a lot to deal with. For 13 years old. She's out on her own. She's only eating bloody pancakes. So she's not having any nutrition. She's kind of flying now. What she used to enjoy and was really excited about.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Is sucked the fun out of it because she's doing it daily, and it's a chore, and it's not as enjoyable.
That's what I'm getting at.
And I think that's what it is. Yeah, I appreciate it from all different sides of things. It's never as exciting as you think it's going to be. Like, even a singer.
You think, it'd be a piece of piss. Or being a guitarist or whatever, Yeah,
like, I know Ed Sheeran wanted to be a singer-songwriter so badly. But there's so many songs that he's wrote, like, where it's like, actually, it's not that all it's cracked up to be. And it's one of those things you dream about it, and it's like, actually, it's not as great as I thought.
Yeah.
It must be hard when you have a dream and it comes true, and it's not what you wanted in the end.
No, I know it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes. But for her, it's also the point of with the fact that she's losing her ability to talk to Gigi, like me and you were talking type of thing. It's just a cat meowing. It's like, what's going on? That
made me really sad. That did. I felt really like sorry for her best friend.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
Because he's the one that she talks to the most and confides in, and he normally gives something back.
Yeah.
And I feel at the end that doesn't really get resolved, even though she can fly again. I'm hoping eventually it would, because obviously she can fly, so hopefully her magic powers will, the stronger they get, the more likely she'll understand Gigi again. That's the hope of it. But it doesn't kind of...
No, I don't know if that's also because of the fact that, if this is any correlation or anything, but the fact that he's found, like you said before, like a female companion to be with, and that he's kind of like, oh, well, now I'm kind of too involved with her now, so I haven't got time for you type of thing. It's almost like a...
You do see that happening, though, with Gigi, to be fair. He does kind of like...
she's too much, spending time with someone else instead of you type of thing, like moving on, basically. And another thing that I kind of noticed this time as well is that when she's hanging out with... Kiki's hanging out with Tombo and his flying machine that he's got.
I don't know why she don't let him on her broom.
Don't know.
Like, he wants to fly so badly. Like,
He's his mother says like, oh, he's head in the clouds almost.
Yeah, so you'd have thought, well, get him on your broom then. That's literally what he wants. I know she loses her powers shortly after, but
I don't know if that's a bit of Miyazaki in there as well, like, because his obsession with aviation and stuff.
Yeah.
But the part where he's kind of like, she's hanging out with him, and then his friends come along and like, come on, let's go hang out or whatever, and she's like, nah, I'm not interested in coming to hang out with you anymore type of thing. It's kind of, feel like that she's kind of like grown to like him a little bit.
I think she likes him a lot more, and she likes the attention
from him. But when someone else is kind of drawing attention from him, it's like, nah, I'm just gonna walk away now because I want you to just be totally focused on me as opposed to everyone. I don't want to share you, basically.
Bless her.
Which is okay because again, emotions of a new teen. Yeah,
it's naivety, isn't it? And you don't want to share. You don't. Yeah. It's just how it is.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot I've got out of this watch this time around. I think the subtitles help as well. It's sort of explain that up a little easier for me.
I think it does. It makes it easier to understand, and it makes it more clearer. Adds a little bit more, making it more special.
Yeah.
I also really like the scenes as well when she's helping out that older lady.
Yeah.
And
nice.
like kind of Kiki she's a nice character. She's got a heart of gold, and she wants to help anyone if she can.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the fact that she gets wet through delivering, I would have been the same on that job. I've helped this old lady. I'm going to be late for a party that I wanted to look nice at.
Yeah.
I then get soaked in the rain delivering this pie that I've had to help this old lady change the light bulbs and everything else to give it to this girl who's in a beautiful dress. Like, that's all Kiki wants.
Yeah.
And
she's very ungrateful.
Yeah. It feels like one of those things where you try so hard in your job and you just don't get the recognition or anything like that you deserve. And it's like, yeah, that's life, isn't it?
Yeah.
It does give you a lot of life lessons within it.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you realise as well, sometimes you need to take a break, you need to step away.
Yeah.
Which is quite surprising in a Japanese film to say that.
Because
they're like, work.
Yeah. But I think even there, like, you know, you do need to breathe now and again, yeah.
So the ending is the only bit from this really I remembered beforehand, to be fair.
Are you talking about the very end or just the bit before it gets to like the end credits type of thing?
The very
with this like airship coming down and Tombo's like hanging on by a rope.
Yeah.
So then Kiki's like, oh, I've got to go save my friend and everything. And that's the kind of turning point where she's like, oh, got my powers back. The determination to like willpower to get on a broom again and like, right, I've got to save him type of thing. Because
she'd been forcing herself to try and do it, and I think that's when it had been going wrong.
Yeah,
she had a break, and then she needed something to kind of kickstart her again.
Yeah. There's that push.
Yeah. It's this dodgy old normal broom, not like a proper witch broom put together.
Yeah.
And you kind of then see it at the end. She just kept this broom. She hadn't been asked making a new one. She's like, that'll do now, fly on it. But it's clever the way that she does, because obviously it's a new starting broom. She's kind of bouncing off buildings with a foot to kind of keep her on the steady.
Yeah.
It works really well. And I feel like that's quite an intense scene.
Yeah, because it's like, it's almost like her driving a new car, new stick, whatever. And it's like, I'm not used to this kind of thing. And it's getting used to the whole situation. It's like, but again, also the fact that she's trying to relearn what she's kind of forgotten. It's not like riding a bike and you kind of never forget, as they say.
I feel like that's a load of rubbish.
I think it is as well.
I used to ride a bike, and I'm pretty sure if you got me on it now, the insecurities of an adult thinking, oh God, I'm going to fall.
Yeah.
I think I would struggle to ride a bike now. Also, it's intense with the fact that you think Tombo is going to fall. He's going to die. Is he going to, obviously it's a Ghibli, so probably not, but...
Yeah. It's a good scenario to have it in, and it's kind of like, obviously that silent moment as well when she's kind of like super focused on like getting off the ground and everything with the broom and everything. It's like, oh my God, this is happening again. She's getting her powers back and everything. Yeah. Even though she's not, it feels like she's not completely got to grips with it, but I think in the end credits she's kind of like gradually getting back to her normality. And it's like, I remember, I think you said like from when we first reviewed it, it's like, was that a sufficient in terms of like an ending for the like wrapping up on the thing, or like why the fact that it was only just kind of truanced in that end credits? Like, why was there not more to tell?
I feel like it should have just carried on a little bit longer, and not just like in the end credits kind of giving you a little bit
summary.
Yeah, I think it could have had a wrap. I also think as well with the ending, you kind of see the letter getting sent to her parents saying she's doing okay, but it's like, well, is she not going to now go visit, or does she have to have a year completely without them? Can't she go, home and say, hi, how are you doing? Or they can come and visit and see where she is. Like, if you're in uni, I'm pretty sure your parents won't go, okay, go on, pack your bags, off you go. You've got to stay there for a year and I'm not going to see you.
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen.
So you'd want a sequel, like Kiki's never said too. How she's been getting on.
Yeah, well, no, I just feel like it could have shown.
Is she still in the town? Is she moved to?
Did she carry on with the business? Like, was that implied?
I think it was. Yeah, because they made like a new sign with it because it had the broom, as in the broom that she borrowed from that guy and everything. Okay. As opposed to the witch's broom, the sweeping brush broom. It was more like a
I didn't
really
even notice
coarse
that,
brush.
Paul. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Attention to detail there.
And I think you made a point as well, and the other one had like, they had the kittens and stuff. Like, could she now talk to the other kittens?
Well, she can't talk to any of them, can she? That's the thing, and it's like I don't understand why not. If she can fly the broom, then she's got magical powers back. Why can't Gigi talk? It does upset me because I think more just for Gigi and Kiki's kind of side of things because they had a really good relationship and now they can't communicate.
But I think that maybe there's part of that being like how in the bring back to Christmas films and stuff.
Go on, yes, Christmas.
How that only kids believe in like Santa Claus and all that kind of stuff.
It's like a growing up thing.
So when you start to grow up, you kind of that magic kind of fades away, and it's like you kind of accept it for what it is, and that kind of stuff. So that I think that's it. That's her. She's got her flying powers, but the whole thing of talking to the animals or her cat at least is kind of by the by now. That's just something that's no longer a thing.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. Probably it is to do with like that magic kind of side of things where when you're little you believe in anything and everything is possible. I feel like I miss that sometimes of myself, like that innocence. Mm-hmm. Like it's really gone. I used to be so innocent and now it's like too worldly wide, if that makes sense.
Too focused in the real world.
Yeah. It's quite sad really.
Oh well.
It's going to break up with me now.
No, I'm not, but we've all got to grow up, unfortunately. Yeah.
True. Some just take longer than others.
Anything else to add before going to the scoring on this one?
I think it's just lovely. The way it's drawn.
Yeah.
Is just beautiful. You can't fault it. The story is just. It does have a deeper meaning, which is brilliant. The characters are lovable. It's got this lovely kind of pastel tone to it throughout. Yeah. I feel like though I would love Kiki to be able to afford a pair of shoes or a nice dress, even though I know she's iconic and that little witch, well not little witch, but this little girl wants to dress up as her, as a little witch. Yeah. You kind of see her presence.
Yeah, that's in the end credits as well, isn't it? It's like, oh, you're such an icon in this town. So, cosplaying her as a almost,
Exactly. So, but I do feel like Kiki would be nice if she was like, I don't know, bought the little red shoes.
That she wanted almost like
because she deserved them.
Yeah. I guess maybe like a Dorothy thing, maybe.
Yeah.
Like,
with the witch.
We're gonna go, a place like home.
I thought that.
Yeah. But although she was staying there for the long term, but eventually she probably ended up back home. But...
No, it makes it sound like they find the town and then they live there and they set up home and...
Yeah, and that's that.
And then they marry somebody within the town and then they have their own family.
Maybe Tombo.
And then their little witch, if they had a girl, would fly the nest, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's how I see it.
Okay. I think... Let me see. The only things I've got to bring up that I noted down was that the producer, Toshio Suzuki, noted the similarity between the film title and the Japanese courier Yamato delivery service, which happens to have a black cat on their logo.
All right.
So they actually worked on a sponsorship and commercial tie-ins with the film when the film came out.
Really?
So it's kind of like, it's kind of handy, and like for them to good promotional service.
Yeah,
for,
jump on it.
Yeah.
I wonder why. Well, no, I don't wonder. Cats, Japan.
Yeah. Black cats are considered lucky there as well, as opposed
Not like
to
bad luck.
Not bad luck for you. I don't know why that is, but yeah.
Well, foxes are lucky over there. I think any animal is lucky to somebody in Japan.
It's more the yokai monsters that are the bad ones.
Yeah.
And also it was the highest grossing Japanese movie at the national box office in the 1989.
Really?
So,
That's brilliant.
Yeah. But it doesn't surprise me really in terms of, because
Quite popular over there, isn't he?
There was obviously there's films before that they did, but I think it was a year before that was the like Totoro came out and stuff. So
he'd got his kind of franchise
Yeah.
out, and then he'd
got the mascot.
popular.
Yeah. So it's good turning point really for the studio. So right, I think we will go to the scores.
It's me first?
Mhm.
Okay. So I feel like this has kind of got a little bit of nostalgia now, the fact that it was his first one that we reviewed. I know I reviewed it quite mediocre, I think. I probably gave it a 7.5. I
should have written that down actually.
I'm pretty sure it was from what I listened back.
Hmm.
I feel like for me, any Ghibli will be a higher score now. I think it definitely has when it's in like Japanese.
And we went to the museum as well.
We did.
As well. Yeah.
And as well, I think that was the only one I'd have got to Totoro as well, and Ponyo, I think, and Kiki Delivery Service.
Yeah.
I think that's all I'd got under my belt when we went. So I really kind of enjoyed the bits when I did see the makings of.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, that's I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciated it a lot more. And I think now, having the love of Japan that we do, and the colours that it was 50s as well, I really seem to like a 50s style. I don't know what it is. I cling to that. I must have been like at some point.
Yeah.
In my 50s, back in the 50s at some point. So I think for me, it will be a 9.
Oh, wow.
I'm really surprising you today. Is it because you're giving me alcohol? Is that what it is?
Yeah, is that for the...
I'm so nice.
Yeah, I guess, it's good that you've kind of got a lot more out from it this time.
Growing up.
Yeah. I am also going to give it a 9 as well.
Oh, high 5. Oh, I'm proud of it. Yeah.
Yeah, in sync there. Yeah.
Well, we know the next one won't be, but...
But no, I've really enjoyed rewatching this one again, especially with the Japanese subtitle track. There's definitely a lot more I got out of, on this watch, and very solid in terms of like now like one of the favourites of mine to come back to. Really, I think it just kind of holds a special place because we started with it and now we've come back to it. So I guess there's that factor.
A bit
as
more
well.
sentimental, isn't it?
Yeah, as opposed to the other ones. Don't get me wrong. They're all good in their own right. All the
Totoro.
But yeah, that is top level. But
yeah,
no, definitely.
And then Ponyo for me. I really like Ponyo. We haven't. We haven't discussed Ponyo, have we?
We haven't. No, we haven't on recording. No, but
No.
we've seen it
several times. Yeah, I love Ponyo. I do. I don't know why.
Yeah. Okay, we're taking another little break for a moment, and we will be right back with the third instalment, which I have a lot of notes to say about this one.
I'm anxious already.
Yeah, so this is probably going to be what you're all tuning in for, maybe potentially, for the riffing on. It's Sophie's choice, really, for a Christmas film, really. So
it is, yeah, because it's Christmas after all.
Yeah, we had to get another one in, so we'll be right back. And we're back.
Back to Christmas.
Yeah, back to a great Christmas film.
Give over. It's not that bad. There's worse out there. You're being mean now.
Mr. Grinch.
If you're being a Grinch, I'm not going to be happy. I won't love you anymore.
So Sophie was adamant, pretty much, for me to see this and maybe say, like, oh, give it a chance, Paul.
You did. You enjoyed it.
So I did. I gave it a chance. And this is the Christmas with the Kranks.
I'm already not liking your tone on this, Mr. Parks. Depending on how this goes, depends on how many presents you're going to be getting. Just remember, I can talk to Santa, and he can deduct presents. So,
okay.
Be mindful.
Are you called Marty?
It might be. Well, how do you know what Santa's called, to be fair?
Saint Nick.
No, Santa is his...
Nick.
Claus is his last name. Santa Claus.
Well, most of the things are Saint Nick, don't they? So you would think
but
Nick.
Are you going to name
Nicholas.
every child every time you know... It's going to be different Santas, isn't it? Passed down generations.
Right, okay. So
does this mean every time I have a child, I've got to name it Paul if it's a boy?
Paul Jr.
And then Paul again when they have a child? I don't think so. It's not how the world works. It'd be very confusing. Oh, Paul annoyed me today. Which one? Oh, Paul Jr. You know. Work.
Does. Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, beef about...
Right, okay.
That.
So... Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not.
Please lie.
I can't. There's things in this that just really get my goat up with the thing. I knew from like seeing clips and people talking about it and stuff, and it's like one of like on the lowest denominator of Christmas films.
Pardon?
It is. No, this isn't just like me saying it. This is other.
What about like Jingle All the Way?
Yeah, I think that falls under that category as well. To be fair,
or like
it's absolute
Lampoons?
tosh. I don't know about Lampoons.
And that other one,
what other one?
That light one.
Oh, Deck the Halls. Yeah, that's. I'll tell you straight away. You'll be thankful to know that is lower than this one, but that's not saying much. Yeah, because Matthew, I'm a robot. Broderick in that one he's fucking unbearable in that one.
Is he Inspector Gadget?
Yes, yeah. He's so wooden.
That's why he's so good at Inspector Gadget, isn't it?
He's not even good. I mean, I've seen like clips of that, and it's like this looks.
I used to think Inspector Gadget was good when I was little. I used to have a game I played as well.
I'd be alright if you said the cartoon. That would be alright.
I think I liked both.
Not that live action one, but anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about this, and the whole message that this conveys is just so backwards. I don't really know what you see the good in this, really. I'm sorry to say.
It's very upsetting me at the moment. My mouth's like this and that. I don't know what it's saying to me.
Because what I get from it is a lot of peer pressure into you've got to do the Christmas spirit, or we'll force it down you until you do what we say. And that's not a good message, is it? You shouldn't force people to doing the beliefs into what because we didn't get it. You're not doing a party this year, so you've got to do it or else kind of thing. It's like we'll just keep badgering you.
Yeah, and
that's not good.
That's showing what Christmas can be. So there's two sides to this. I think at the beginning it isn't showing the right moral, so that's why they want to skip Christmas to the Kranks, because obviously Blair's gone to the Peace Corps and they're like, oh, it's not going to be the same without her. So they want to skip Christmas and go on a cruise. But everyone else is affected by that because they would normally host a big Christmas Eve party.
Yeah, and I don't get why it's their responsibility to do that.
No, it's not. And I think that's showing it's not their responsibility. It shouldn't be. If they want to skip Christmas, they should be entitled to do that.
Yes.
But it's the way that probably
everyone acts.
Everyone acts, and how Tim, the Toolman Taylor, I forgot his name.
Tim Allen. He proves Tim Allen. Yeah.
He's called Luther in this. I
know, it's Tim Allen. This is Tim Allen in everything he is, except Toy Story. He's Buzz Lightyear, because that's you don't see him, so therefore he's not Tim Allen. But
I think it's the way Luther handles it all that kind of gets people's backs up. It's a bit more like a Scrooged kind of thing. It's like, I don't want to participate in Christmas. I feel like if somebody wants to give you a gift, accept it and be polite, but just say, I'm skipping Christmas this year, but thank you for your gift. The way that he goes about it.
He like hands out types out a letter and then starts handing it around to the thing that's saying, I'm skipping Christmas, and like dangling it in people's faces, like, you've got to hear me out type of thing, like, look at me. Like,
and I think that gets people's backs up and it goes the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the peer pressure comes from with the way he delivers it. I think for Nora, it's a little bit harder. It is that peer pressure. It's a, well, you normally do this. You normally buy cards. You normally buy charity things. And I think it shows a really good meaning about Christmas. And I think everybody can expect all of this, and that's not what Christmas is about. In the end, the way that it turns around, everyone does all this. We have to buy loads of food. We've got to get the tree. We've got to do all of this.
Right.
But that's not the true meaning of Christmas.
No.
And it's not really the beginning of the film that I value. It's more the ending part, the way that it ties up and kind of gives you the true meaning of Christmas.
Yeah, but to get to that point, though, it's kind of like they have to submit to the fact of that just because of the fact that the way the story plays out, which, in terms of the running time as well, I know the film's like maybe like hour and a half, something like that, just over
That's
that.
a good average film size.
But I was saying to you, like, I feel like they should be wrapping up now, because it's like, you're doing all this stuff, like all this fodder beforehand, like, oh, we're skipping Christmas, and then let's get a tan and all that stuff.
Yeah, that scene was cringe.
We'll come to that in a minute, but and then suddenly, oh, my Blair's back now, got coming back home for Christmas, like, okay, like, and then there's the majority of the rest of the film is just about that setup of getting
you're like
things ready.
Halfway through the film,
like, what
probably.
the hell?
Then.
Like I feel like this should be wrapping up now. Like, that's going to be resolved. And like, why are we wasting so much time with this crap?
Because that's showing the community coming together, and even though he's been a prick the whole seasonal kind of Christmas period, it shows that everyone has a good heart. Doesn't matter how you've acted.
Well, that's not true, because it's the Frohmeyer, Dan Aykroyd, the guy from Ghostbusters, and
I didn't realise that was the case until you said it.
Blues Brothers, as well. Only because he says that, oh, well, just because he's been a selfish baby, just, Blair's, she's babysitted all your kids and stuff, making her out like she's some fucking godsend or something, like she can do no wrong, so therefore why should she suffer because of the father? It's like, really? I mean, she's not that great. The fact that she's gone on this Peace Corps thing and then suddenly she's shacking up with this guy and, oh, we're going to get married now. I think that's not very, like, a great thing to be, like, promoting, really, is it? Because, oh, I'm just kind of giving up on, like, saving the world and stuff just because, oh, this fit guy's come into my life and I'm coming home now. That's that. Done.
No, she's taking a break, Paul. She's going to go back.
Is she, though?
Yeah, because she met him and they're both going to go back. They're just taking the Christmas holiday.
Oh, he wants to get married and has loads of kids. I don't think so. You're not going to be doing saving the world with little toddlers running around your feet, are you?
Well, you need to get married first so they can carry on saving.
Oh, yeah, whatever. I don't think that's...
So cynical.
No, I just don't get that's the whole crux of that. It's just all about her, essentially, because she's coming home, everything's got to be dropped, because I think that's...
So you wouldn't do that for your child?
Well, she's not like a 5-year-old, 10-year-old girl, is she, or whatever? She's like a grown-ass woman. She's like, oh, you're gonna have a party for me, right? Like, kind of thing, like, oh, yeah, oh, absolutely. Kind of thing, I'm the lions, then got to shimmy and get everything put together. It's just very childish, like a thing like, I'm gonna have a party because I'm, how old is she, would you reckon she is?
Probably like 20s.
In her 20s. She can fucking deal with the fact that she can, like, not have a Christmas party, the thing, because...
Well, I think they...
Grow up. We want to go on a cruise.
But the problem is the parents had actually said, Blair, we're going on a cruise beforehand, then she wouldn't have flown halfway around the world to go home. You can't just go, well, sod you, Soddy's daughter, we're going on a cruise because you've just flown halfway around the world to surprise us.
Yeah, but this is the...
Because if our child did that, Paul, I would be Nora. It'd be like, no, we're not going. I haven't seen my child for half a year. You'd be like, fuck you, I'm going on a cruise. It's like, well, go on your own then.
It didn't seem like that was a long time that she wasn't like half a year or whatever. It was something like a week, it felt like. That she'd been away or something, because it was still set around the Christmas period when she was going.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm talking about.
It's confusing because it's like, well...
That's what I mean, because she's...
Did she go before Christmas, like last year? Or was she going and it was still Christmas?
This whole thing is set up around because no, it must be in a short period of time because of the fact that she says, "Oh, this is our first Christmas without in 22 years or whatever." Nora says without Blair.
Well, there you go. That's how old she is.
20, yeah, whatever. And then shortly after that's right. Tim Allen has the bright idea of right. We're gonna go on a cruise.
Well, to be fair,
and then within maybe a couple of weeks, and then suddenly now she's coming back home. It's like, well, that didn't last long, did it, with the Peace Corps thing, did it?
I think she's just having a break. I really do. I think that's...
2 weeks is not a break. I don't know if it was like a year or 6 months tops. Just that is, and then it's like, you're a grown-ass woman, you can handle the fact that you're not having a party. Yeah, sure, they might have said... dropped it in conversation perhaps with her if they were good parents, they would have spoken to her, like at some point, like, because, hey, how are you going? Oh, by the way, we're going on a holiday this year.
Then
while
she wouldn't
you're
come home and then it wouldn't have been a problem.
But that's what the whole plot of the film relies on, isn't it? Her not knowing, and it's like, oh, we're gonna plan a party.
Well, yeah.
It's so stupid. It's like unnecessarily stupid.
But it's about the whole neighbourhood getting together as a community.
Rather, like, standing outside your house, like, what have you got to do with your lives? And, like...
in the end, they do. They all come together.
Free Frosty, like, have you got nothing better to do than demand to put a stupid plastic thing on your roof?
But to be fair, if somebody's been doing that for 30-odd years of living there and then decide not to, and it'll be like, well, wait a minute, why?
What does it matter? Everyone, like, shuns them and, like, oh, you cannot go away for Christmas. There's plenty of people that go away for Christmas.
But that's such a tight-knit community, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't understand.
Which I would not want to be a part of.
What, the community?
I wouldn't want everyone knowing all my business.
Exactly. So why would you care? Like, just do what you want and just forget them. It's like, but they're, like, hounding them, like, this is, like... like, what if they were actually, like, there's a joke about, what if, are they Jewish? Don't they celebrate Christmas or something? Like, what if they were? Would they flipping, like, be Nazis about that? And just...
I do think, though, this is a comedy. You have to bear that in mind, so you should love this. It's
not funny at all.
It's a comedy, though. Not
funny. What? Tell me a thing that you laugh at in this. You're sort of going on about the... Oh, you haven't got a funny bone or anything with comedies I try and make you watch or things like that. What is so rip-roaringly funny in this comedy? Go on.
Well, there's a couple of cringe, I'm not going to lie. There is.
There's plenty.
I'm not going to say there isn't, like the hickory ham, that just is a bit extreme for the fact. But then there is kind of just odd little quips and lines and such. But I think for me, it's more the ending that gets me.
That's not answering my question.
I don't really think it's that funny.
There's nothing funny about this. You just said it was a comedy, and
it is a comedy. It's your typical kind of cliche funny comedy, which I wouldn't appreciate.
But you haven't given an example of something that made you laugh.
Nothing makes me laugh. You're putting me on the fun. But the thing is, I don't really enjoy most of it. I enjoy the ending.
Which isn't a comedy element. That's just heartwarming.
But it's a good principle. You're not getting any of this, are you?
No. Because
I'm not enjoying reviewing this with you. I knew I wasn't going to like this.
This isn't
Merry Christmas, let's record a podcast where we both fall out.
This isn't proving the point of, like, you just said it was a comedy, so therefore you got to let it slide.
It is a comedy because I don't like any of the cringy bits, so that means it is a comedy. Because, like, the hickory ham, I'm like, ugh, it's not great. And
so you admit that's rubbish?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, at least you're agreeing with something then.
And then the fact that when they're in the tanning booth bit, I don't like that bit.
Absolutely, like...
But what I mean
and also why does he get, what's it?
Botox. Yeah.
For a day, and then he's back to normal the next day. What's that about? What is the point of that?
It's just
that's so stupid. Like that's so doesn't unnecessary. Why is he now back to? Oh, this is funny because he can't drink or eat because his face is so plastered.
I think it's showing the extreme of where he's going with this because he takes it
which
to a new
costs
level.
him money.
Yeah,
no less. He's supposed to be. Oh, we're saving money by doing this cruise.
Spending money
on this tanning. Oh, what a shit! What a load of shit!
So just to let you know, viewers. we're not going to be
Listeners.
doing... Listeners, we're not going to be doing a podcast next year. I've fallen out with him. So we won't be continuing the show.
I'm sorry, I just don't get what the appeal is with this film. I really don't.
Well, you haven't given me chance to tell you.
Okay, go on.
And when I do tell you, you don't seem to get it anyways. So yes, I agree with you. The beginning part is cringe. It is peer pressure and it's not the right message of Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I appreciate all of that.
Yep.
I do. I take it all on board.
Okay.
I do think the tanning bit with the vicar coming up it's my worst scene of the film.
Yep. Certainly don't need to see Tim Allen in a
well, you don't need to see
Speedo.
What's her face either, to be fair.
She's and she's degrading to her in that sense, and also all the rest of it in this is kind of just like she's better than this. She didn't scream this much when she was being chased by Michael Myers in Halloween, and it's like, you know, that was understandable. She's been like murdered, and she's like so over the top, into hiding under the bed like a fucking child. Oh, they're outside. It's like, why they can't see you from there. And
but
all this
it is a typical comedy. It is. It has all them cringe factors.
I mean, it could go cringier, to be fair, but I'll give it that much.
But it is one of those, and I don't really enjoy those elements, but
yeah,
I kind of love it for the nostalgia of it, because I know I've grown up with it. I feel like my mum loves it to bits, and it's one of those things where it does have a good moral at the end. The peer pressure does become off, and it shows that even though somebody has been a bit of a douche all year, you will step up for people.
Just for this part of the holiday.
And you will be there for them. And I think that's the moral that I always like a film that can give you a moral. Also the bit where you've got Luther and then you've got Walt, the old man, who calls...
Old man. Yeah, he keeps calling him old man. Or
Luther,
whatever.
old man. And obviously you've got his wife who's got cancer. So you've got a bit of a sad story within there, and
you have, although it's kind of played out very sparingly and spread very thin with that, because like there's a scene where Nora goes to the I guess like helping out with the charitable, like, you know, soup kitchen or whatever, and then I'm sure, aren't they the aunts from like Sabrina the Teenage Witch or something?
One of them definitely is.
Anyway, she's comes in and says, "Oh, she's got cancer again for the third time." It's like, "Oh, that's a sentimental moment," and then straight away it cuts to Tim Allen stepping on the cat. After that, it's like, "Oh, okay, that's a good, you know, like, you know, that's glad we had that sentimental moment for 2 seconds, and then."
But then you see that kind of Luther and Walt are having a bit of a spat, because obviously Walt's having a bit of a hard time knowing Bev has got cancer for the third time.
Yeah.
And it's come back, and it's obviously she's got to go back into chemo and everything. And obviously Luther doesn't know this. So Nora's like kind of sees them having that.
Yeah.
And dulls that moment down again.
I guess.
And also the way that they end that relationship with the fact that Luther gives them the cruise tickets, and it's so well deserved. And I think this is the reason why I really like the film. It's for this moment, this scene where he gives her the tickets, and it's no strings attached. I just want to do a nice thing by giving somebody something. You're not expecting anything back.
No. Okay.
You're giving a gift just because it's here, please take it. Because otherwise it's going to get wasted. I'm not going on it, and I want you to have it. And I think that that's just showing from where he began being really selfish to me, I want to go on a cruise, I want this, I want that, to somebody opening up the heart, realising actually all I need is family, my loved ones. He looks at the window, which is cleverly done.
I'll give you that bit. That's that shot where they're kind of like he's looking in at his family and when they're having the party, and then they're looking at their thing where it's just the two of them sat in on lonesome and the thing. I do like that's kind of like a nice parallel between the two, and he's kind of like standing in the street. There's another shot where that happens. He's like oh, which way do I go? Almost like with that situation. I'll give you that. That's
and I think that's the Christmas element. So I'm not gonna lie, I don't enjoy probably 50% of the film.
Right. Okay. So that's
as much
right
as I would want to. It sometimes gets a bit cringe, and I can kind of probably put it on and I'm wrapping presents while I'm doing it. and I'm not probably full-heartedly watching everything.
Okay.
It's the end for me that I would just save up the ending to watch.
Okay.
Because it would make me want to cry every time when somebody's being so heartlessly giving something.
Mm-hmm. Okay, right. I kind of see where you're coming from with that. I get this sentiment with that thing. What doesn't really reflect, other than the fact that she has cancer, what other aspect of that does that give a redeemable, like, selfless thing? Because half the time you kind of, it's not, you don't see her that often. It's him going, "Oh, how you doing, old man?"
Yeah.
He's a bit of an asshole to him, Tim Allen. So that doesn't really make him selfless. He's not the real one who's really deserving. It's more for the fact that, because his wife has got cancer, therefore he's got to feel like this is deserving.
And Marmin Luther's been selfless.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's been selfless, but it's more for her benefit, not what's he called? Walt's benefit, because he's not a nice character either. He's with the rest of the neighborhood being
but I think he's like that because how would you act sometimes if your wife is poorly? I guess. Sometimes you take it out on somebody who you shouldn't do.
I know, but...
And I think that's what it is. So he takes it out on Luther.
Mm-hmm.
And he even wants to keep that rapport up, even though Luther and him have kind of mended things.
I guess, but... Yeah, and I don't see how... I know you said, don't worry about these certain aspects of the tickets. I don't think, in a real world, you're able to transfer those tickets just like a piece of piss, like...
I don't know.
I don't think it's that easy just to, your names are on certain parts. And Tim Allen's like, I'll take care of it. Like, really? Or Christmas Eve, like, someone's going to be there doing this thing. It's a bit of a far-fetched stretch just to have that element.
But it's a film. It's a film at the end of the day, and those things you don't think about. Just like how did Kiki deliver that big parcel.
That's a cartoon. This is different. This is realised, although this is trying to be a cartoon in some aspects.
Also, the way that it ends with Santa within this.
Which I don't think are you talking about the very end?
So basically, at the beginning of the film, you've got this guy that's, do you want an umbrella? And he's no. Do you want an umbrella? He's like, no.
That was hilarious.
Sending him into the store for, have you talked to the butcher because he'll know where
the chocolate is.
Whatever, yeah.
Well, I'm with him on that.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Why would I talk to somebody who's in a completely different area of produce?
Yeah.
Where, meat to chocolate, there's no... No, why would you? And she's like, oh, you got to do it because reasons. Like, what? Why?
So, obviously, that's kind of giving you the connection of Santa already there. And he's called Marty, and he's the one that... He knows everybody. He knows everybody in the village, and no one notices him.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, then Nora meets him and invites him to the Christmas party because nobody's able to attend.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of then connect to the fact that he's the umbrella guy and he doesn't want to miss out on the umbrella season. No, when he's leaving.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody knows who he is at the party until we get a name and we're like, oh, it's Marty, but Marty who? And it just kind of...
He's time travelling now.
In the end, it's his car. It's him driving off. So the one that makes it look like Santa in the sky.
I don't get that, though. Why did that need to be a thing?
I think it's showing that he knew everybody and who was being naughty or nice.
Okay,
you
could have at the very end. You could have just left it at the panning shot of them looking in at the house, whatever we were talking.
Yeah.
You didn't need the frosty animation going, oh, I'm alive for whatever reason. Then the rain, like, why did you need that? That was stupid. Like, just breaking the element of the whole thing. It was a bit dumb.
I'm really scared about your score.
I haven't actually looked at my, what I've written down because I've written a couple of pages and stuff. I probably talked about most of them, to be fair. In general, really, there was when the carolers are singing outside, why do they duck down as if they're being shot at with a sniper rifle? Like, oh, let's go command like crawling on the floor and stuff. Like, what is that about? Like, just tell them to bugger off.
Do you think that would work?
Like, just stop saying, oh, well, again, the persistence of them is just astounding. Like, just keep saying,
but
like...
it's a comedy.
It's not funny, though, that's the thing.
But no comedy is.
Yeah, there are comedies that are funny.
No, there isn't.
Yeah, there is funny.
No, none of that comedy element like that would be funny. So how would you improve that scene?
I just wouldn't make this film, is what I'm... Or just make it not a comedy at all and just, I don't know, do something else with it. It's not having ducked down and, like, as if someone's after him or something, like the mafia.
You always have to rip into things I like.
I just want to understand what it is about this.
Told you.
It's nostalgia. It's totally nostalgia then.
No, it's the end scene.
The end scene, but it accumulates from the fact that everyone's kind of like browbeating them into doing this though at the end of the day.
It's not browbeating because the fact that they choose to do it because Blair's coming home. They've been pricks all of December, deciding not to want to do Christmas. Kind of.
No, I'm talking about the neighbours here.
Well, actually, in the end, they're the kind ones. They don't have to give up turkeys. They don't have to give up everything that they do for them.
No, I know there's a bit of that, isn't there, when, like, Tom Allen's, like, he's kind of, like, doing a speech and he's like, yeah, thanks very much, everybody, whatever, like, half-heartedly, and Nora's, like, having to step in. He's like, oh, you're still sour about the not going on the cruise and stuff like that. He's like, still time, type of thing, yeah. It's like, yeah, everyone's community, but because they've been, like, harassing them from the get-go, because, oh, you haven't bought Christmas cards, you haven't bought a tree, and I just feel like that's just not a good way about, like, celebrating the season. It's like you shouldn't.
Isn't that true though? That's like probably what some communities do go through.
What communities?
Well, especially in America, I can imagine that does happen.
Well, I totally believe that. If someone doesn't put up a tree, God forbid, gotta celebrate Christmas, or rather.
Yes, you do have to celebrate Christmas, Mr. Parks.
No, I'm saying, like, not to an extreme, like, yeah, sure, you can put things up, but you don't be like, oh, you've got to. It almost feels like we're expecting a party at the end of this. You've got to host it.
I don't think it is that.
I think it is. I think it is because, like, I feel this is, you always have the best party at Christmas. That's one of the things they say.
Yeah, but the people who said that aren't even there.
No, but...
So it doesn't, that's void. Because if they're crying about a party, the people that were crying about the party aren't even at the bloody party.
No, but that's, even if they haven't said it, they're expecting a party because it's in their neighbourhood.
The neighbours are not normally invited. It's normally family and friends.
When's that said?
Well, because she says, we're going to have to probably invite the neighbours, which they normally don't do. It's normally family and friends.
Well, why are they making it sound like that? What's it called? What's it called?
Don't know.
Dan Aykroyd's character, anyway. Frohmeyer.
Frohmeyer?
Is like, as if, like, he was there at this party and stuff, and it's like, it makes it sound like I can't think that he wouldn't be invited to these annual parties that they always have.
I don't know.
And stuff. I feel like there's no way that there wouldn't be, considering how persistent they are with putting a plastic snowman on the top of the roof, how they wouldn't be like...
If you've done that for 30 years and then someone says, no, not doing it this year, wouldn't you be a little bit like, well, why not?
Because I'm going away. I don't need to be doing this. It's like, what if someone had, like, it was an emergency or something?
But, like literally someone saying
to go away,
to
sorry,
you,
I've got to go
I'm
because
my...
I'm going to put
Frosty up on your roof. Like, what harm does it do if they really want Frosty up there?
What does it matter to them? It doesn't, it's like a power source, is it? Like, unless there's some cultist, like Satanist
the
cult
Christmas
thing.
Competition.
What? The same snowman on the roof?
Apparently.
What's the difference? They're all the same. Oh, what have you done differently?
It's because the whole community together doing it.
Oh, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. I'm sorry.
I don't think we're going to get anywhere. Do you have any more comments? I feel like we're going round in
circles.
No,
you're not going to convince me. I'm just
going to sit here and let you talk now.
Okay, right.
I'm not even going to try.
The whole thing with the cat as well, like when he frozen the cat, was that hilarious when he was like frozen in the ice?
No, that's cruel.
Exactly. That was so funny.
The end part is he takes the cat on when they're going on the cruise. So
begrudgingly.
No, he doesn't. He says, I'll take it.
Yeah, begrudgingly. He's like, oh, I'll take the cat.
No, he isn't. It's like
because he's like, I've got no other choice, because otherwise they're like, oh, well, who's going to take over the cat? It's like, oh, I'll still do it. And it's like, but more to the point of the thing with the ice on that, like, most of the snow is melted on that day, right? It's not cold enough for the ice to have frozen when he's like, oh, let's freeze the path so that no one can get to the front door or whatever.
I don't know, the temperature might have dropped
the postman, poor postman, he's done nothing wrong. He slips on the ice like Home Alone. It's like, yes. And then obviously the carols, whatever. Yeah, you don't want them there. That's probably what he's trying to do to deter him.
And poor Nora even
slips. Like, that's hilarious. And you see the cat frozen on the thing with the cartoon eyes.
Yeah, that's a bit creepy.
Yeah, it's so like, that's so funny. The only other thing I would like to bring up, the director, Joe Roth.
So you've actually done some research on this as well.
Yeah, like I'm thinking, like, what else has he done? The thing I want to bring up to you.
Oh, don't.
He actually directed that film you brought up before, America's Sweethearts.
Oh, I like that film. It's good.
That was in 2001.
Yeah.
And then I think this was, this was 2004. So that was like, he did that before this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't seen that one, so I don't know, like, what's the humour in that, if there is any humour, or is that more like a serious drama or something?
Like a rom-com.
Typical rom-com.
No.
Like Serendipity rom-com.
I'd say it's on level of Serendipity.
Right, okay.
Kind of humour, I'd par it with that.
Okay, I'm just curious.
It's got John Cusack in as well.
Yeah, because I saw the poster, and I think you've mentioned that before, and with that.
Yeah, just drive the goddamn car.
Okay.
That's what he says.
Okay.
So, yeah, I love him though, so biased.
Who?
John Cusack.
Okay. Other things.
I'm interested in that. I thought you were going to say he'd done a crap film.
Well, I think he's done other things. I've not other things like that. I don't know what that is or whatever. But I was like, oh, that's interesting to know that he did that, and you said you like that film. So,
thank you for that. I appreciate it. It's the nicest thing you've done all this review.
Okay. Just the other thing of the fact that I've kind of looking at this like with the aspect of, like, you know, with the comparables with Christmas Carol or It's a Wonderful Life, you know, in terms of like the message and like the turnaround with those films, you know, like, especially like with It's a Wonderful Life, you know, he's gone through a hell of a lot, and then at the end he gets, you know, like he's what is deserved really from his friends in the community. That's proper community. Like, he's put so much effort into like the town in that and everything.
Yeah, but begrudgingly as well, to be fair.
Yeah, he's had a hard
he's
life.
Not wanted to do that.
No. But they didn't like go right. Oh, you've got to.
Yeah, but then when they came to it, when he was struggling, they wanted all his money out of the bank, and he couldn't even go on a bloody honeymoon. So the community is not that great.
No, but
that one guy wanted all his money out.
Selfless though, in that he was.
Oh, George, yeah, you can't fault George, but the community you can. I want all my money, and I'm gonna go to what's his name? Bad guy.
Potter,
yeah.
Potter, yeah.
So, you know, everyone has their ups and downs. You can't compare Christmas with the Kranks with...
No, can't, no.
It's a Wonderful Life.
There's no question
it's
into what is better.
Comparing Singing in the Rain with something Adam Sandler's done, it's like, it's just different. It's not even in the same boat. You wouldn't even put it in the same category.
Well, no, but the only thing is that they're Christmas films. It's a Wonderful Life.
That's not fair. It's not comedy though, is it?
No, it's not.
So, no.
Thank God. Or A Christmas Carol, like I said, as well. Like, you know, there's your Scrooge and everything, and he kind of has a turn around at the end.
Yeah, I only feel his turn around in the Muppets, really.
I don't know why that makes a difference. It's the same story, whatever.
It's more giving, I think.
Is it? Exactly the same as any other iteration of Scrooge, to be fair, that I've seen, or the ones I've seen anyway. The older one, and then the Patrick Stewart one that I watch with the family. They're pretty much the same. Other the fact that you got Muppets in the Michael Caine one.
Or Scrooged.
Scrooge is different though. That's a more modern.
It's good though.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying it's not good. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
don't get me wrong on that. But this is not. Oh yeah, sorry. Then one other thing before we kind of wrap up because I know we've been on for a while now.
Well, you have.
I told you I got a lot to say about this. I mean,
I don't want to hear.
The other thing about when the police escort for Blair from the airport and stuff. Firstly, why is Fromire dictating what the police do? Because they're like, oh, why have we got to do it, kind of thing, or something like that. And he's like, oh, do you want me to call the chief? Like, what authority do you have against the police?
Well, maybe he's friends with the chief? I don't know.
That's not the...
It's not the right thing to do. Or maybe
like,
he gave
blackmailers. A good... Like, you don't have any say. We're the police. You're just... A citizen. You can't tell me what to do, type of thing. So why you got to be a taxi service?
This film with a pinch of salt.
Oh, I can't though. This is the thing. There's certain films I can. This I cannot. And obviously when there's they go to obviously pick them up, and then there's like they're stolen for time. It's like there's a robbery in progress.
And then
there happens to be a robbery, and that's coincidence. But then the other part of where the most annoying part of this is like the kid Spike, whatever, the kid of Fromire, and it's like lets him out.
But he's innocent, isn't he? He's gonna believe it. Any child would.
No, how old do you reckon he is? What, like
10?
10-year-old would know that he's lying.
Would they?
Yes, they would. Come on,
would
and he's...
you? No, I think I'd be that naive at 10.
No. Come on. Any modern kid, anyway, with a sense, a brain, would know that. So let's him out.
Maybe
You can go in the
house.
Why, if Robert wanted to rob stuff, why doesn't he go to any other houses where? Because everyone else is at the Kranks' house.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Why just because he was invited into their house?
Well, it's easy, isn't
to get some food.
He might have the alarm on at the other house, and he has to disable the alarm and everything like that and get in. Whereas you can just get into this house, and it's so busy that no one should really notice.
Yeah.
But also, if I was Spike, I'd have just given him some food. Says he's so hungry. Right, okay, I'll go to the buffet. Wind your window down, here's some food. Edible. I'd have done that instead.
I wouldn't have just...
I would have given him
stupid
food.
Kid.
I would have done. I'd have felt for him.
Yeah. All I know him from is Malcolm in the Middle. Do you ever watch that show?
Is that Spike or is that the...
Yeah, Spike, yeah.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay. I think that's pretty much all what to say on really. Just...
So do you want to go to your score now?
Yeah, okay. Might as well. Dig my grave.
It's okay. SP's cancelled. It's fine. So if he doesn't want to participate anymore and tell films that she likes because all you do is this, not expecting it to be even higher than a 3.
Right, you're right on the money there.
3?
It's a...
Fuck off.
3.
Is it a 3?
It's a 3.
You weren't going to give it a 1, were you?
No, I was just winding you up there. When I was doing the where Sophie swore there, I was just holding my fingers up just to wind her up, like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I was winding you up. It is a 3 though. That is the final figure. And Deck the Halls, if I was to number that, it would be a 2.
What about Lampoons?
I think that's funny. There's things in that made me laugh a lot. Funny. There's a certain different type of comedic element to that film because the way that does it. There's certain ways that comedy can be played out, and that does it a lot better. That works for me in my terms of sense of humour.
No,
so
you don't have a sense of humour.
I do. You don't have a sense of humour.
You don't, clearly.
Yeah, you clearly don't, because even this film that you rate as a comedy is not funny at all.
Well, no, but I don't find anything really funny.
You do. There's things that you've laughed at in other films. You were laughing at... We were watching Home Alone, and you were laughing... Home Alone 2, and you were laughing.
But yeah, that's classic.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Christmas with the Kranks is a classic.
Oh, no, it's really not.
But I'm saying it's a good Christmas film to put on.
No, not even that. Not even that.
It's one that I'd like to watch every year.
I think there's better options.
Well, our kid will watch it.
Ugh, Christ.
And Daddy has to make sure he's not pulling a sour plum face. Or he has to sod off.
Better options is all I'm saying.
I don't think it's fair that you slag off every film I watch and then I have to suffer shite that you put me through.
My means of doing it is just a thing that there's a whole world of films that are of a higher caliber than what this has to offer. Is all I'm saying. It's only just because of the things that you might have seen when you were younger. There's things I've seen like when I was younger, and then go, no, actually no, this is pretty rubbish now.
It's not the greatest film. I'm not going to say it is.
No, it's not a masterpiece by any standards.
No, it's no Singing in the Rain. It's a Wonderful Life. It really isn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even think you can see the little bit at the end. Like, I'm trying to pinpoint that to you. Like, that is
there's a glimmer, but it's just how it gets there is just clumsy and a bit of a stretch. Is all I'm saying. I get the sentiment of if it was played out slightly differently, then yes, I get the sentiment of like the community coming together. If they were in a bind, then yes, in a nice way.
Yeah.
But the way that it played out is just not the right way of doing it. Is all I'm saying. I get the sense of community. That's felt very well and good, but just how it was constructed.
Okay.
That's all. So that's why it's not like really low, because I do like I mentioned about the cinematography of the way that it was like almost like a postcard or a card, a Christmas card way of like looking in at the outside, looking in at the situation, and then going to the other side, and in the snowy, the scenery in that is nice. In that sense, that was one of the better parts at the back end.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway, so go on. I'd be interested to know what you have to give this. Really?
It's 10.
Oh, come on, you're having a laugh.
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not.
I really thought you'd just gone around singing in the rain and la la. No, like. Oh.
It was just payback.
Right, go on. Actual score now.
I'd probably say it's a 6.5. 5 is the nostalgia.
The 0.5.
0.5, yeah.
Yep.
I think that's how it tips it over. I can't mark it higher than that because it does cringe me as well. It's not perfect, but the ending for me makes me still whelm up now. It does give me the feels, and it does give me the reason why, Christmas can be hectic, it can be bustly, people can be arses around Christmas. It's called the silly season sometimes because people are so het up in this day that's like, literally, it's a day and it needs to be perfect. And it doesn't, it's not possible. And I think everyone gets a bit of an anxiety around Christmas.
Yeah. I know you love Christmas, but you're not to that extent, are you? You're not like, this must be absolutely perfect for the day.
I don't really care. As long as I've got the food in I need and the family
around me.
And I've got everything in that I should have got.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
And a gift that's thoughtful enough that somebody would be like, oh, wow, I've received this and I'm really grateful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, that then to me means tick, I've done a good Christmas.
Okay. Yeah.
But people can, like, even in supermarkets, like, bushing around. It depicts what Christmas can do to people.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And how daft we can get about it. And I think then
Which is what I don't like about this, really. Just how het up they are about the holidays.
Like, someone would fight somebody for the last turkey. Like,
holiday ham,
that would happen.
Yeah.
And I think it's also then the true meaning of Christmas comes in behind it. Like, the giving side of things. Like, don't get me wrong. Walt would go on the cruise if he could.
Mm-hmm.
Not Walt, sorry. Luther would go on the cruise if he could.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, I don't want this to be wasted. He could have just been a Scrooge, and he could have just lost out on his money.
Yeah, that's fair.
Instead, he's like, who do I think's really deserving of it? And I think that's where it kind of touches me, because I'm always thinking Christmas is the main thing is about giving.
Yeah.
And that's him being giving, even though he really wanted to go.
Okay, yeah, but he's still a bit of an arse throughout.
Yeah, he is, but he gets a turning point at the end, and I think that works well.
Yeah, I'm still not quite on the same level as you with that, but yeah, I just wish they'd tackled this a bit better in terms of a means of us telling the story. But anyway, that's all I'll say on that now. I'll put it to bed. It's not something I'd certainly come back to, like, oh yeah, I must put that on every Christmas. I don't know how you can, and I certainly didn't. I didn't feel the sentiment as much as it was the neighbour with the cancer and stuff when he was doing that gesture. It wasn't like, oh, that's so sweet, or anything like that. It's maybe just because I just was kind of bitter from the rest of it,
maybe.
But it didn't touch me in a way that was.
I think it wasn't more from Luther. It's more them finding an excuse why they shouldn't go, and like we'll pay you back, and it's like, no, this literally is a no strings attached. Don't need to pay me back.
Yeah.
When does somebody go, I'm just going to pay for you to go on a cruise? Like,
so if you win a competition on the radio.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When does anyone do that level of kindness?
No, that's okay. Well, that's that then.
Good luck editing.
Yep. No, I'm not looking forward to going over this stuff.
Well, it'll be your fault.
Yeah, no. Yeah. But I feel like we've done. It's deserving of a full length, a feature length, and a bit episode. For this time of doing stuff. So hopefully if you've listened this far, thank you very much for listening through. Definitely
just scrim to the fact that Paul just rips into Sophie's one of her kind of nostalgia Christmas films, ruins her Christmas, makes her want to quit SP Filmviewers for next year. So
please don't.
Well, don't like what I watch. Make it a merry note now so that we can end on something happy.
Well, we're very grateful to everyone, once again, who has listened to the show thus far.
And especially this one.
And I'm very grateful, of course, to my future wife for putting up with my shtick and this little project we've kind of grown over the past couple of years. And I'm hoping that she will continue with what we're doing, because I feel like there's still roads to go down with everything that we've got going on. There's a lot of things that I still want to share with her, and I feel like it's worth a discussion.
I don't want to share anything with you.
And that I love her very much.
Okay. You've redeemed yourself. It's all right. But no, on a serious note, I'm not going to quit. Yeah. We're fine.
Okay.
We're fine. But I think it does show where I've grown with doing SP within this.
Definitely, yeah. I feel like I've grown in myself in terms of, talking about films as well. Because it's like, it's always a platform I wanted to talk about with people. And I'm glad I got to share my experience with you of films that, I've seen from my childhood, or, things that I feel like are really worth talking about, and it's good to have that.
There's been loads of films I've seen now that I probably wouldn't have watched if it wasn't for you.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful for the experience. Some have not been so great, which clearly you've had to experience that.
Yeah.
And others are brilliant classics that I've never seen, and I love them to bits. And I think that's kind of the connection.
That's the point. There's so much to hit and to miss, but this is the whole part of the journey, because everything's not going to be like, because that would be boring if it was all. You were going to like absolutely everything.
I would love it if I did. It would be more enjoyable.
But I know there's obviously, like, with things that you've shown me as well, that, again, maybe similar to Kranks, but maybe not to, like, an absolute ripping on. And I feel like those episodes add value in that sense, because, like, looking at them and just, like, talking about it in a very, very, very critical way of, like, what value to cinema does this add?
Not much, to be fair. I won't lie with Christmas and the Kranks. It's not much. It's one of those things you just got to take it for what it is. You can't expect any more from it than what it is. It's never going to be A Wonderful Life or anything like that. You just can't compare the two. But I've really enjoyed this year. I have. I didn't enjoy Paul slagging off my favourite Christmas. Well, it's not my favourite.
No, that's not true. That's
the Grinch is my favourite.
Yeah. I'd happily, I obviously watch that every year, that's no problem. Even though I give it a little middling score. But this is just, I don't think I could. I've given it a chance, I tried.
You said it wasn't as bad as you thought.
No, it's not as bad as I thought it was, but there was still bits that just grated me, just the how the characters were. But we'll leave it at that now. We're not talking about the Kranks anymore. I'm done with it. I'll put it to bed.
Good, I'm glad.
Yeah. So now we'll just say thank you once again to everybody who's listened to the end, and be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter under the handle SP_Filmviewers to keep up to date with our goings on for next year. Of course, we are going to do like we did last year we did the 2020 retrospective, looking back on the year that we had
and what we've
covered this year, and stuff. And obviously we are hoping to do some more listener questions for that as well. So that'd be very much kind of like this was kind of. I feel like this was kind of like a more like relaxed and not like heavily edited down. I don't know. It depends on how this goes into when you're listening back, but that's going to be very fluent and just take it as it is, really.
A bit more easy breezy.
Easy, yeah. For this, like a bonus for the year, and then I haven't decided yet when we'll start like the new in 2022 episode, but we might take another break perhaps just to cool off for.
Yeah,
Christmas
after
period.
that Christmas and the Kranks one, I need a cool off.
I need to lie down. Yeah, that was an experience. Yeah,
it was good. I think we got intense. I feel like that was like our first recorded argument here.
Yeah, but we'll keep you in the loop with that, of course, with everything.
100%.
But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to what we've got. What I've got planned. We obviously talk off camera. Maybe in the next episode we'll talk about what we've got coming up.
Installed,
installed with that. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the future. And anything else to add before we go, Soph? Other than
just a massive thank you for everyone that's listened, supported us, joined us on his podcasts, encouraged us, being friends even though we haven't met you. It's been a bit of a hard year for many people still, and looks like we're going into a bit more ropey again.
Mm-hmm.
But just thank you for everything, and I hope everyone has as normal and as wonderful Christmas as possible.
Yeah. So happy Christmas to one and all.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll definitely speak to you in the new year.
Yeah.
But have a good new year as well, and hopefully 2022 will be a good one.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll speak to you before New Year anyway. But
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Be going closer to New Year, won't it then?
Yeah. So happy Christmas in advance. Hope you all get what you want for presents and stuff, and just more importantly, obviously spending time with your families and. Everything, that's the main thing.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. And eat all the turkey or veggie turkey you can.
Yeah. And hopefully you don't have neighbours who are harassing you to put up decorations.
Well, by then, I hope that they've already harassed you, because you should put your decorations up by now.
Unless you don't celebrate Christmas, of course.
Oh, clearly. Yeah.
We're not going to...
Not going to force you to do something you don't want to do in that sense.
Unless it's a certain film, but I still don't want to talk about that anymore. But yeah.
Zip!
Yeah. Right, okay. That's it for this episode. Thank you very much listening. So we're on the the Good Pods and Podchaser, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. All those downloads will be very, very big help to the cause, and also the Alzheimer's, of course. And with that being said, wrap up now for definite, and we will speak to you very, very soon.
Speak to you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye-bye.